Hey, what's up, everybody? Long time no talk. Welcome to WWE Aftershock. I'm Owen the Birdman Finch, and I'm here with.
Chris.
And yeah, we
Is
haven't
that
done a show.
entertaining enough? We're not entertaining, apparently.
Yeah, but we haven't done a show in a while just because life's been busy. Chris and I's schedules haven't like meshed up with each other, so like we haven't been able to do the show. Sleep schedule's been off on my end. 2K24 has been out, so I've been kind of playing that, as well as Chris. And then we've had like family stuff go on, so like we just haven't been able to do the show. We're doing this, so this is gonna be a weird format. Basically, what this show will be is just gonna be like an overview of everything that's going on. I think the last time we actually sat down and recorded the show was pretty much Elimination Chamber, and then we did like the Raw afterwards. So much has changed since then. So we got a lot we got to unpack. Pretty much we're going to do like the state of the WrestleMania card address. Then we're going to do the same thing for NXT Stand and Deliver. And we'll talk about whatever else we want to talk about that's going on in WWE that, has really nothing to do with WrestleMania. We definitely want to make sure we talk about the state of the WrestleMania card address. We're mainly doing it this way because WrestleMania is coming up, and we won't really be able to record like another Aftershock really or anything about the current product until like the Saturday before WrestleMania. But we're not gonna do like an Aftershock. We'll do an Aftershock episode, but we're gonna do like a prediction show mainly for WrestleMania type of thing because it's gonna be a busy time that Saturday. There's no point of doing like a full on show review because Stand and Deliver is in the afternoon that week, so it will probably bleed into it, and then by the time I'd upload the episode, it would be it wouldn't really mean anything because it would be out like after WrestleMania most likely. So let's just kind of talk about the state of the WrestleMania card address. Overall, Chris, I'll just ask you before I really break down any of the matches. What's like your excitement level for WrestleMania this year so far? Obviously, some years are more exciting than others. Last year's was pretty hype. The year before that was not as much hype, but it was fairly hype. Some years people really look forward to WrestleMania. Other times, people don't. What's your like excitement level this year for WrestleMania 40?
I can say right now it's an all-time high. I can't wait. I'm super excited. This WrestleMania for me is probably it could be the best. Again, we'll see. In a week from Saturday, we'll be able to see it.
Yeah,
it's exciting. I can't wait. This is like I said to you off camera, Owen. This is the fastest WrestleMania has ever come up. I feel like ever. And it's going to be very exciting.
I don't know why it feels so fast. Maybe it's just because we haven't done the show as much and stuff, and we haven't been doing as much stuff. Like we've been kind of doing a lot of projects when it comes to off camera and everything like that. I don't know why it just seems like it's so fast. Because it's not like it's earlier this year either. I think it's like the same time frame that it was last year. So I don't know why it just feels like it's very fast. But I'm really looking forward to WrestleMania this year. I think WWE's done a great job so far, really hyping us up for WrestleMania. All the matches, for the most part, they've really been putting a lot of build behind them and everything like that. And we'll talk about them. And, it definitely feels like a big WrestleMania. I feel like, they felt like this was the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. I felt like they kind of wanted to go all out, and I think so far they have, which I'm really happy about. But yeah, let's just start talking about the WrestleMania card, talking about a hype level for each match and everything like that. We'll kind of give a thumbs up, thumbs down. You're not on camera, so you'll just have to tell me if it's a thumbs up, thumbs down. You can't really show anything like that. So before we kind of talk about the matches that have already been made, I kind of want to mention some matches that looks like that are going into motion that haven't been made yet, just because it looks like we're going to get some matches, but they haven't actually been announced yet. But we can kind of see the direction for each of the matches. I really can't think of anything on Raw that they're really building to that doesn't have anything to do with WrestleMania. For the most part, I think everything on the Raw brand has pretty much been made official for WrestleMania. I really can't think of anything that like they would add to the show. The only thing I could really think of is maybe they'll want to do some type of woman tag match. The only other one I can think of is maybe like Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan, because it seems like they've been building that recently. Because I think they want to have both of those women on the show. That'd be like an easy way to do that. Maybe they'll do some type of like multi-woman match for the people on the win on the women's side. But I really can't think of anything like on Raw that's like not been like made confirmed for WrestleMania yet. I think everything so far has really been official so far on the Raw grid. But what about you? Like anything on Raw that like hasn't been that's been like talked about that hasn't been set up for like WrestleMania yet?
No, I mean everything's pretty much been well built up, and it's exciting. Yeah, I can't wait.
And then we have a few matches on SmackDown that they're building up these matches, but they haven't announced them yet. I don't know why they haven't confirmed them for SmackDown, but they have for Raw. Maybe because like most of the Bloodline stuff's been on SmackDown, so like their build has been kind of cut a little bit. A few matches on SmackDown though. I think we're gonna get some type of multi-person match with like Rey Mysterio and the LWO versus Legado del Fantasma. I say that, because obviously the Rey Mysterio Santos storyline's been going on for a while. Rey Mysterio just recently came back to WWE television. He came back, I think it was a week before my birthday, because my birthday was March 15th. I think he came back like March 8th, because he came back doing the street fight with Santos and Carlito. And, I would have preferred, obviously, the Rey Mysterio and Santos match to be safe for WrestleMania, but I can kind of understand why they did it on SmackDown, because I think we're going to get some type of, like, Legado del Fantasma versus Rey Mysterio and LWO. And I think now Dominic Mysterio is going to be involved in that, because he just recently interfered in the match with Santos, where he helped Santos win. I feel like, too, like, to even the odds, they're going to add Andrade to the OWO side of things, because they've been kind of doing interactions recently where it looks like the Judgment Day is trying to recruit, like, Andrade into the faction. But he's like, you can kind of tell he's not going to join the OWO. Not the OWO, Judgment Day. That's a completely different faction. I mean, he might not join that faction either, because he's on Raw, but like, he's definitely not joining Judgment Day. But yeah, you can definitely tell he's not joining Judgment Day, but they're going about it well. I feel like too this will be a good way to get like a lot of people on the show. Like it'll be a good way to get the OWO guys on the show that like I don't think would have had a match anyways, like Raul Mendoza, Joaquin Wild, and Selena Vega. It would be a good way to get them on the show. Even Carlito. And I think it does kind of make sense. I would have loved it just to be Rey versus Santos, but I think it does kind of make sense because the whole feud's been kind of LWO versus Legado. I think it makes sense to end the feud with kind of like a big multi-person or like multi-man match if you don't want to have Zelina and Electro be in there. But yeah, what do you kind of think? Yeah. But what do you kind of think when it comes to that? Because I feel like it definitely seems like something's being built between that type of thing.
I would think that it's like you said, like a multi-man match just to get them on the card. It could be like a pre-show match or something, maybe. But I feel like though Rey versus Dom 2 would be money.
Yeah, I agree.
But I wouldn't be against a LWO versus Judgment Day match. But it would have to be like
I think it meant LWO versus Legado.
Legado.
Yeah,
Legado. Not Judgment Day. Legado would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think it would. And I think it'd just be really good. It'd be a good way the faces can get the victory too, because Rey can pin Dom and it wouldn't hurt Dom in any way. I mean, I think you'd want it to hurt Dom.
Hope it would. It would hurt Dom. Fuck him, that's why.
Yeah, so...
fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, so obviously, that'll be a nice thing. Another, like, multi-person match or some type of match I think we're going to get is we're going to get something, I think, with, like, Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, and B-Fab versus the Final Testament. Because they've been building to that for a while. I think it deserves, like, a culmination. I really don't think it's making it to WrestleMania, though. I just don't think there's enough fire there anymore to really make it to WrestleMania. I feel like they're gonna put that on like WrestleMania SmackDown. That would be like a big match for WrestleMania SmackDown. They'll do that match.
If they do that, yeah.
I feel like it could just make WrestleMania just because Bobby Lashley had to miss WrestleMania last year since his opponent got sick last year before like they could do the match or anything like that. So like I feel like they'll kind of want to make it up to Bobby and get him on the card at least this year since because it'd be kind of I don't think it'd be great for Bobby Lashley to miss WrestleMania 2 years in a row. I just don't really want to see like the Final Testament. It's not that I'm not into the feud. I just think it's lost a lot of fire. I think mainly because it hasn't been on TV recently. Because we'll talk about this. A lot of the angles on SmackDown that we going to talk about have been kind of cut because the Bloodline segments like take up a lot of time. This definitely lost a lot of fire because there's been weeks that it hasn't been on TV. They'll just kind of show it on like WWE.com exclusives and all that type of stuff. This has kind of been very much cut for time. It just seems
yes.
It just seems like no matter what happens with Karrion Kross, he just cannot get over. Because I thought, it looked like the Final Testament was going to finally turn his career around, but he kind of feels like he's kind of back to where he was. He's not completely back to where he was, but it just seems like no matter what, Karrion Kross can just not get over it. It's not his fault. It's not WWE's fault. I just think there's just no connection with like him as character in the audience. I think AOP is doing relatively good though. Like they're like a good big man faction. But
they're AOP are doing fine.
And just Karrion Kross, I don't know what it is. Yeah, he just cannot get his character could just never seem to get any traction. I think this feud's also been very lazy and complacent recently, where like it seems like every week, the Final Testament will just lay them out and all that type of stuff. This week obviously was better because obviously the Street Profits like beat him in the tag match, but it just feels like this feud's gotten very lazy and complacent, and I think it's because like it's lost a lot of fire. That's why I don't think it really should make it to WrestleMania. But again, do you really want to leave Bobby Lashley off WrestleMania again this year? I really don't think so. Because we didn't mention this. There was sources online that's been posted that they're going to do like 7 matches on each night, and I imagine this will be one of the matches. We're obviously making predictions here, but I imagine if they do a multi-man match with like the Final Testament versus Bobby Lashley and stuff, it will be a different night than the Rey Mysterio LWO Legado match because like that would kind of make sense to have those be on different nights because you don't want to have 2 of those in one night. But it's like, I feel like this Bobby Lashley Final Testament story just lost a lot of steam. I feel like too because
really has.
Yeah, I feel like too because they've also changed the story around a lot because it was about like Bobby Lashley and like Street Profits' purpose, but then they changed it to like talk about Montez Ford. Then like it seems like it's just disputes and change it on a whim, and again, I feel like it doesn't help the fact that like it's been off TV. Like, you could definitely tell they'll film segments that are meant to be on TV, but I think the Bloodline segments went so long they have to cut those segments down. So it's like, how do you kind of feel? Do you think we're gonna get some type of multi-person match between like Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits and like the Final Testament? Like, how do you kind of feel about how that's been kind of going? Because I feel like we're getting something down to that.
It could have been better. It definitely could have been better. But yeah, like Karrion Kross can't get over.
Yeah.
No matter what. I feel like the AOP is doing fine, but like they're trying so hard with Karrion Kross. This is again like another probably one of those pet projects for Triple H to try to like, hey, like it's not Vince anymore, like we're gonna push you. But it's just not working. And the Street Profits and Bobby are doing really good. Yeah. But yeah, just like it just feels off with Kross.
Very much so. And then another match for SmackDown that might get added. Obviously, something with the women's tag titles, whether that's they do like a 6-woman tag or like a match actually for the belts. It's really tough to tell what's going to happen with that. It could either be Bianca and Naomi challenging the Kabuki Warriors for the women's tag titles, so that way Bianca gets on the show because obviously she's on the show this year, and that would be nice. I imagine that's the replacement because obviously Sasha Banks didn't end up signing like we thought was going to happen. So like I feel like the original plan was going to be Sasha and Naomi coming back to reclaim the tag titles that they never lost, but obviously Sasha Banks went to AEW, so that's not going to happen now. So So I think they threw Bianca in there kind of as like the replacement. I don't know what would have been the storyline. Like I don't know if they would have just like left Sasha Banks off TV all this time, and then like maybe Naomi would have said I'm gonna have a surprise partner, and then it would have been Sasha Banks, and she would have came out and yeah gotten like a really good pop at WrestleMania and everything. But obviously that's for naught now. So I think they're throwing Bianca in there. Kind of like the fact that Bianca's in there, obviously, because she's very hesitant to want to kind of be involved with Damage Control anymore because of the whole Bailey thing. I mean, I kind of want to see Bianca get away from Damage Control because it feels like that's all she really feuds with now. But again, I'll kind of give it a pass because like they added new life to the storyline, and again, every match it seemed like she was gonna have at WrestleMania has been like not happening. Like the Charlotte Flair match would have probably been a match, but then obviously Charlotte got injured, they couldn't do that match. There's really no need for the challenge for any of the titles right now. But well, I think we're gonna get them for the women's tag titles, or another option is they just recently announced this week, last Friday, that Jade Cargill is gonna make a SmackDown debut. She signed with SmackDown. And she's gonna have a big segment. I imagine that could get interrupted by like Damage Control, and they'll do like a 6-woman tag where it's Jade, Bianca, and Naomi versus the rest of Damage Controls. They're not in a match at WrestleMania. The Kabuki Warriors and Dakota Kai. I'd be cool with that match because then that gets Jade on the show. It gets her in a big spotlight at WrestleMania, and yeah. Obviously, it's even tough to tell if that match is even going to happen because we didn't talk about this. Didn't Asuka get injured like fairly recently, like at like a live event or something, or like not a live event, but she had to get pulled from like a live event. So like that's why she hasn't been doing anything recently. So like but who knows? But whatever. Obviously, what do you think's going to happen with like the rest of like the when it comes to like the tag title situation? Because obviously, it's very tough to tell right there.
And I think it's going to be okay. Like it's just, but yeah, like I agree with you. And Bianca needs to just get away from Damage Control at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think I think the plan is for Jade to be in the last woman in that match. So for it to be a 6-woman tag. I don't know. I didn't know Asuka was hurt, so that's the first time I'm hearing of that.
Yeah.
That would absolutely suck if that happens and she can't compete at WrestleMania this year.
Yeah.
Just awful, but that's sometimes how it goes in wrestling. But yeah. I think the match will be fine. It'll give Jade a good showcase.
I agree. And then obviously the other match, it doesn't have anything to do with SmackDown or anything like that, but it's obviously questionable, like, because he's been talking about it on any interview he's been on and stuff. John Cena, it seemed like he's going to have some type of role at WrestleMania because he's mentioned that he's free that day. He wants to be a part of WrestleMania since it's like the 40th anniversary and everything like that. I don't think he's having a match. I think it's too late to really throw him into a match now this year at WrestleMania since there's only like a week to build it. The only match I can really see him having is against Solo since that's like the only storyline they could like get together really quickly since, that's the last match he had before he left and everything like that. But I really don't think he's having a match at WrestleMania. I definitely think we'll get to it later. I think he's going to end up running in on a match at WrestleMania instead this year. I don't think he's going to end up. I don't think there's just enough time to build a storyline for him at WrestleMania. And I think everyone that he could wrestle is just, too busy in other feuds right now. I think if he was going to have a match at WrestleMania, they would have brought him back by now and have him do something. Again, the only match I could see him having is against Solo, since, that's an unfinished feud for him, but I'm just not really interested in seeing that, and I just don't think there's enough time for that to happen. So, John Cena's role at WrestleMania. What do you think? What do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be very interesting. I do think he's going to get involved in some way. I think him and Steve Austin are going to get involved in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, it's interesting for sure. I'm intrigued especially after everything that happened.
Yeah,
this week I'm definitely intrigued. They definitely alluded to who was showing up at
Yep.
WrestleMania.
We'll talk about that.
This this past just last night actually.
Yeah. Um, obviously, I was just about to say this would be like the third year in a row Cena won't have a match at WrestleMania, but I forgot he did have one last year against Austin Theory. I always forget that match happened because it was just so like nothing. So,
It was such a non-beneficial to anyone involved.
yeah, I always forget that it happened. I'm like, oh yeah, that happened. Yeah, but I think that's everything that like the only matches that like have been kind of built around that haven't been fully announced. I can't really think of any other matches that could get added to WrestleMania. I think those are going to be like the rest of the matches that'll get added that haven't been made official or anything like that. Any other matches before we kind of break down what's actually like been confirmed for the show before we actually talk about that. Any other matches you think like could get added that it looked like it's being built up but obviously hasn't come into fruition yet?
It's tough. Like I think we pretty much. I don't know what other matches would be involved actually.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because it's like everything kind of has a purpose already. Maybe they might do an Andre or they might do a women's battle royal, but I just don't know where anyone else really would fit into the card.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I think if they do an Andre or a woman's, they'll just do that on WrestleMania SmackDown because that's what they've been doing the past couple of years. So, yeah, let's just kind of go through what else is actually on the WrestleMania. What's actually on the WrestleMania card right now? We already know a couple matches that are definite going to happen on each night, so we'll just talk about those first, since those are pretty much confirmed. The only match we know at night one that's going to happen is the tag team match. Is going to be the Bloodline versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Freaking Rollins, and there's obviously a special stipulation to this match. This is if Rhodes and Rollins win, all the members of the Bloodline will be barred from ringside during the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship match on night two. But if Rock and Roman win, the championship match on night two will be held under Bloodline rules. This kind of leads in also to the night two main events with Roman and Cody, since that's been kind of like being built alongside this match also. Yeah, the build for this match has been done very well. Obviously, this was a setup a few weeks ago when Cody challenged The Rock to a match. The Rock basically, haggled him to get this match, and they've had a lot of really good segments with this. The Rock's been doing a lot of really good promos on Instagram where he's just
recently,
where he's just been ragging on Cody. They had that segment on SmackDown where they were all together for the first time since the press event. The kickoff. I kept getting that one. It's since the kickoff show. The week of the Super Bowl and everything like that. Where Cody finally gave The Rock his receipt, and after The Rock had talked so much he finally slapped him in the face, which was great. And then Cody's cut some great promos where he talked about like wanting to finish the story with the interview with Michael Cole, which was very good. And then The Rock had his Rock concert recently, and then
and he brought back the Hollywood theme.
Yeah, he did. And then we had Cody, finally fired back at The Rock, where he just like really laid into him. Not this week, but like the Raw before this. And then
last week, yeah. Little dick energy.
Yeah. And then we had the face-to-face segment with like Roman and Cody. That was good. I don't think it was as great, as like the Rock stuff's been, but it was like good. I feel like a lot of people didn't like it, but I didn't hate it. But it was fine. I can definitely see why a lot of people are underwhelmed by it. Kind of went the way you thought it would, because the whole thing was like Roman said he was going to show up by himself if Cody did, and obviously, the thing at the end we found out was that Roman lied, but then Cody lied. But I liked how they played into it, because Cody said, if you showed up alone, I showed up alone. They basically played in the fact that, you knew Cody was going to, like, not show up by himself, which was good. So that was good. And then
he wasn't be that soon.
Yeah. And then we had the segment.
Cody's a smart man.
Yeah. Then we had the segment this week where Cody laid in some more of Roman Reigns and everything like that. And The Rock just randomly showed up on Raw this week. It was really unexpected because he was advertised for the April 1st Raw. But then he just randomly showed up, and he didn't say a word to Cody, but he whispered something to Cody, like a prediction that's going to happen. And then, we thought that was going to
what they said.
Oh, you want to?
Someone said that he said, "I'm gonna make you bleed tonight, bitch."
Oh, okay. And then
That's what he said.
right after that, we thought that was gonna be it for the Walk for the night. They were just gonna do that segment, but then backstage, doing like a big fight between Cody, the Bloodline, and everything. Um, you know, the Rock attacked Cody backstage. The first time he's actually been like physical. This is the first time he's been like physically involved really since like WrestleMania 32. And if you want to say even before that, WrestleMania 29, because he just did like a quick thing at WrestleMania 32. He didn't do anything like big, but this is like the first time he's like physically beat the crap out of someone like for a while. He was like I think how long did he beat up Cody? He beat him up for like what, like a good 5 minutes on Raw this week, I think.
Yeah, Cody got the shit beaten out of him, and I can tell you who's not happy. One, Dustin Rhodes.
Yep.
That could be an interesting one.
And then there's a big hint on Raw too, because during the beatdown, there was a production truck next to him, and John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin were both there. So I don't. That might be something. That might not be. That might be nothing, but that might mean something.
I think it's going to mean something because they're trying to get John and Steve for the show. I would love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
And then Cody
would love to see Austin and Cena at Mania.
And then Cody bled on Raw this week. First time someone and it was like an actual blade job. It wasn't like how it's typically been where they have to where it's like a shoot blade job. Well, I guess you can't really do a shoot blade job, but the cut open the hard way and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
he bled.
Yeah. And
he bladed.
Yeah, this was awesome. Like the build to this tag match and basically the main event of night 2 has been really fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I feel like too a lot of people are saying if the Rock wasn't there, if this feud would be boring. But it's like I like the fact that we have him. But I do kind of agree with that. I don't know what they would have done if they just had to do Cody and Roman again, because I feel like it just would have been the same. But the Rock's really added a lot of life to this. I've really enjoyed heel Hollywood Rock. It's been really it's been done very well, and I've really enjoyed the build to this feud, and I've liked the natural progression because Cody started off very respectful towards the Rock and everything like that, and then I like the more the Rock just kept digging into Cody, he finally just couldn't take it anymore and finally went off on him, which was just awesome. This feud's been done very well. And everything's really worked about this feud. They've been throwing a lot of like hints of like what could happen in like this. Like, is The Rock a double agent? Is Seth gonna screw over Cody? Because they've been kind of planting that seed in there from their history when Cody came back.
Yeah, Seth looks like he was dressing in dark clothing this week.
Yeah. So.
And then they showed like backstage when Jay was supposed to do his entrance. He was all cheery. Then when Jay went through the entranceway, he kind of went straight-faced.
Yeah.
So that might be something or it might be nothing.
So I like, I've really enjoyed the build to like this like tag match. They've done it very well, I think. And I think the key about this too, because Seth's also got the world title situation going on. What's been great about this is like it's not taken away from that. That's actually added to that feud. Like, I remember like in AEW recently last year when Darby Allin was in like 2 feuds at once. He was like feuding with Christian Cage for like the TNT title, but he was also in like the local embassy Swerve feud. It like got like it was a bit much. It was like okay, he's doing this. I feel like one feud's taken away from the other. They're like trying to advertise 2 matches. WWE's done this like very well, where Seth's doing this tag match, but he's also built. It's not taken away from the World Heavyweight title build up. So this has been done very well. How do you feel like this tag match and really the night 2 main event's been hyped up? Because I think this feud's been going really well. It's been awesome.
Great, awesome, amazing, and great. All of it. Anywhere the highest compliment you can put. I just kind of like the subtle nuances. Like, Rock comes out and looks like he says, "I'm gonna make you bleed tonight, bitch." And Cody looks fuming. He looks pissed. Doesn't say anything. And then Rock walks back and walks out to, for the first time in a long time, a chorus of boos.
Yeah.
And you can see the look on Rock's face. he was smiling because he got the reaction from the crowd that he wanted. He wanted to be booed. He didn't want to be cheered. And I love that this is all intertwined, and he is also giving us, because he is, ironically enough, he's their boss, and legitimately, that's not a storyline thing. That is legitimate. He's legitimately their boss. He's in TKO, and he gave the fans a little treat. When he became Hollywood Rock, he brought back his Hollywood Rock theme. So so he listened to the audience and said, "You know what? I'm going to give them what they want. This is what they want. I'm going to use this theme again." And he's the final boss now, and he just looks like a fucking arrogant douchebag.
Very much so.
And it just works so well. I love the electricity in the beginning. That effect. The new camera dude is doing wonders.
Oh, he's
Lee Fitz, I think, is his name. He's been doing phenomenal work. The electricity at the beginning, his newer theme song, and then right into Hollywood Rock theme. It's just like, and I love the subtle, the Rock says. It kind of harpens back to the 90s when he would use like the Rock says as an intro. And I'm like, that was really fucking cool. And then for it to be like the Rock theme after the Hollywood theme after, it's got me by the fucking balls. Like, yeah, I love this feud so much. The only thing that is going to bring this down is in a few weeks when Rock has to go away for quite a while. Because it's been a treat. It's been an absolute treat to have him as a full-time competitor for the past like month or so.
Yeah.
It's been a fucking treat. Because it's not been this way since, I want to say, not even during his 2013 championship run or against Cena. He was not full-time or somewhat full-time. He was like, he would appear like 1 or 2 weeks and then go away for a long while, and come back. But this is like back to pre-Hollywood Rock. Like 2002. Before the Scorpion King. Like when he was full-time, fully committed to the WWE, late 90s, early 2000s. He's not been a consistent every week draw since then. And it's amazing, and it's a fucking treat that we get to see him every single week.
Yeah.
and I love it. Like last night especially, you hear the "If You Smell," and I jumped up off my fucking bed. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, no way. Because they kind of, I don't know what the fuck they were doing, because the camera angle kind of showed the light changing. And I was like, what the hell is that? I'm like, why are the lights going to red? I was like, what is happening? And the Rock's music hits, and I was like, oh shit! I was like, I didn't expect that. Like, I knew he was going to be in, wherever they are, I think where they are now, next week. He was advertised for next week's Raw, the Go Home show. But I was like, what pleasure do we have here? Like, we get to see Rock again?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is going on here? So I was pretty stoked about that. But yeah, this entire feud really got flipped on its head when Cody exercised his WrestleMania challenge and pushed that Rock Roman match down the line.
Yeah.
But man, it's been put the fucking overdrive over these last few weeks. It has been like cramming shit in, and it's been amazing.
I want to talk about this too. This is like after the fact, just kind of fantasy booking it a little bit. I think the original plan was that they were going to do Roman as a face, no, as the heel still facing the Walk, but I feel like they have to change plans. I feel like there's been reports for a while who said that Roman's going to be like a big baby face, like after his title win. I think the perfect way to do that, you have the Walk be the one that kicks him out of the bloodline. Because I think there's a lot of money in Hollywood Walk versus face Roman Reigns now. Like, I feel like that has to happen now. Like, that would be so great. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
There's a lot of matches like I feel like when Cody wins the belt, you know, they should do Cody versus The Walk maybe at like SummerSlam for the title. I think they should try to see if they can like squeeze in a Walk Seth match maybe before then, maybe at the next Saudi show or something, and then
he's not going to be available for this Saudi show.
Or you could do maybe The Walk.
Maybe the next one.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be gone from, I think it's May 3rd until like 3 or 4 weeks before SummerSlam.
Okay.
So he's going to be gone for a long time.
Okay.
And who knows? He could be a face when he comes back.
Yeah, he could. There's a lot they could do. Maybe they could do Cody versus Roman in a rematch. And then The Walk comes back. And kicks Roman out of the bloodline then, and maybe they really get that going. Maybe like there's a lot they can do. I feel like definitely needs.
Oh my god, you could have The Rock be the heel and Roman be the face.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
you could actually do that instead of Rock being the face. Just keep up this like brash, arrogant. Now he's the tribal chief now because he named himself the tribal chief.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead, and like he ripped it because if he turns on Roman at WrestleMania, I think I would rather see Roman go babyface.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like that would be so interesting.
Yeah.
Because then that could be. I don't know if they would do that at SummerSlam or Survivor Series, or like push it upward. Have that be at WrestleMania next year. Because then you have a year's worth of storyline.
Yeah.
And The Rock's been willing to do full-time work.
Yeah. Oh my god,
like, that would be amazing.
I feel like the biggest thing we're missing, I think the biggest thing that's going to happen at WrestleMania, everyone's been predicting this, we're going to get like the end, like, we're going to get like a big thing where like everybody that basically the bloodline screwed over is going to like interfere and like help, Cody win basically at WrestleMania. So like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, like they're all gonna come out, and like we said, John Cena and Stone Cold, since they have past beef with the bloodline. We're gonna
want this to be night 2 main event. I want it to be the biggest clusterfuckery of a match humanly possible to send the storyline to end this portion of the story of the tribal chief off with a bang.
Yeah.
Because that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like if you just overbook the fuck out of this match just one time, I am begging them, please just overbook this match with just loads of interference for just one time. That's why I want Rock and Roman to win night 1.
Yeah.
Because I want bloodline rules. I want as much interference as humanly possible. I want this to be the biggest fucking overbooked main event in WrestleMania history. I want it to be so much interference that people are like, holy shit! Like every 5 minutes, have someone like interfere in the match, or every 2 minutes, like have someone come out from whether it's Drew or whether it's Seth or Solo or Kevin and Sammy, the Usos, like have them all interfere in the match in Austin and Cena and Rock. Like I want all of that. I want it to be so overbooked because I want it to go off with such a bang.
It'd be awesome.
Just end this portion of the story with Cody winning with 1,000 interference.
Yeah.
Dustin Rhodes. Like I want this to be so overbooked that people because that's to me that would be so like such a great way to end it.
I think it would.
for Cody to finish the story is for it to be such an overbooked clusterfuck mess with lots of interference, because for the people in attendance, of the people watching at home, that is going to be the perfect way to send it off.
Now, obviously, we have to talk about some bad news, though. Some people are saying that Roman may retain at WrestleMania because they wanted to have him break Hulk Hogan's record that he had, like all that time ago when he first won the belt. They said this is the opportunity to break it. I really hope that doesn't happen. I really hope they're not thinking this way. Because I think if Roman wins at WrestleMania, it's going to be really bad. Like, it's going to be really bad for Cody, really bad for the company.
It could be like a telling story. If Seth and Cody win night 1, I think Roman wins night 2.
Yeah.
The way it should go is that Seth and Cody lose night 1, and then Cody wins night 2, and Seth wins. Well, Seth will probably lose the Worldwide title match, but because they probably want to put the belt on Drew. But I would easily have Seth and Cody lose night 1, because again, they're not going to have Roman have a loss on his record in 2 straight nights.
I don't think so.
He's going to take the L in one of them. And it has to be night 2.
It has to be.
It has to be. So it only makes sense for Cody to take the L in night 1.
Yeah. Or Seth. Seth could take the L.
Or Seth, yeah. For it to be a conclusion, because this part of the story needs to be finished at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You can't have Cody's big championship win be at Survivor Series. This needs to be the end. Cody needs to finish his story at WrestleMania. They didn't build this fucking thing up for almost 2 years for it to just have him lose again.
Yeah, it'd be bad.
Because at that point,
because I remember we were pissed.
Cody's not.
Yeah, we were pissed last year that he had won, and we were like, okay, we're gonna let this play out. We're gonna let this play out. Now we're letting it play out.
We got this story going into Mania.
Yeah.
So it worked out, but at the same time, Rock said that if Cody loses at WrestleMania night 2, he's never getting a shot again at the WWE title. So what is he gonna do? To me, that screams he's winning at night 2 and losing in night 1.
Yeah, I think so.
What were they gonna do? Create another WWE championship for him to be the inaugural champion of? Hey Cody, here's your consolation prize. Here's a WWE championship that we made for you that has no lineage.
Yeah.
You're the first champion. Here you go. We're gonna have 3 main world titles now.
That'd be stupid.
No. Them including the stipulation that if Cody loses, he's done. He can't compete for the WWE Championship ever again. Me thinking losing night 1, winning night 2.
Yeah, I think so. But I think there's a way for them to lose.
No one wants to see him break Hulk Hogan's record.
No,
because I can't deal with this anymore. I love Roman as champion, but he's been champion for 3 years.
Yeah.
This title reign needs to come to an end at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely has to.
Because it got very. I think we talked about it. It was getting the blood up until The Rock came back. Really, the Bloodline storyline was getting very, very stale. Up until The Rock kind of came into the picture again. Then it got
The Rock saved the Bloodline storyline somehow.
Yeah.
he really saved it.
He did.
It's just looking back at it, we had spent so many months last year just shitting all over the Bloodline storyline because it was so boring.
Mm-hmm.
It was not interesting. It felt like Roman was just going through here's LA Knight, here's Logan Paul, here's this, here's that. And it's no one was winning because everyone knew that Cody was going to win the Rumble. and
Or like somehow get to
beat it.
Cody.
And it's just for the standpoint, we should be thanking The Rock
Yeah,
because he literally came back at the perfect time, and he saved what was a very blah story in the
I agree.
bloodline
I agree.
and has elevated it back to where it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
It is back to the forefront of everything and is completely interesting every single fucking week for the last month or so.
It's been
The Rock really put the storyline on his fucking back and really brought it to the promised land.
I agree. It's been great. Um, yeah, but then we have, meanwhile we have other storyline. We have another confirmed match that we know for a fact happening at WrestleMania Night 2, which is Seth freaking Rollins. He's going to be defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre. This storyline's been also like really good, and I think a lot of people were worried, because Seth was going to be doing the tag thing. This wouldn't get as much attention, but this has gotten just as much of attention as the tag match. This storyline right here has been really fantastic. It's been more about Drew just continually going down the rabbit hole of just his path as like a heel. It's been really fantastic. He's been trying to like talk Seth Rollins out of getting involved with the bloodline storyline. He should just be focusing on being the World Heavyweight Champion. Where Seth has just been kind of like, no, this is bigger than us. This is bigger than everything. We have to finally put an end to like the bloodline storyline. This storyline's just been taking so many curves where Seth was kind of lost focus recently and allowed Drew to like capitalize and like take him out pretty much. We've had Drew talking about like how how delusional he is. Like this storyline's just been like very good, and now it's got new life into it because CM Punk on the most recent episode of Raw came back, and now he's going to be like the guest commentator for the match, which it's going to be really awesome. This feud's been really awesome. I really liked how they gone about this, where Drew's been pretty much obviously not associated with the bloodline, but he's basically been using the bloodline now to kind of get an advantage. If you think about it, he kind of accidentally helped the bloodline get the advantage on Cody because he laid out Seth, which kind of caused Cody to be outnumbered backstage and everything like that. So it's like he's really kind of been helping the bloodline kind of by accident and everything like that. I've really been into like the Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre portion of this. How do you kind of feel about this feud going into WrestleMania? It's been really good. I think I'm really enjoying Drew especially.
I've been really enjoying Drew also. I felt like it kind of got put in the back burner a little bit when Rocky came back, and then Seth kind of got involved with Rocky and Roman and Cody. But I mean, this past week it got put to the forefront.
It did.
And with Seth and Punk and Drew, that segment was off the fucking rails insane.
CM Punk
and it was amazing.
CM Punk
he was on something.
Yeah.
He was piss and vinegar is what he was spitting. My God, that was insane. But it was like Drew's really ascended into being this like dick of a character now. He kind of got his comeuppance last night on Raw when he got super kicked in the face and then stomped. Kind of deserved it. He's been a dick for quite a while. Yeah. And he Claymored fucking Seth recently too, a few weeks ago. So it's kind of a receipt for the Claymore. But yeah, like that was my favorite. That like just Punk just got the Punker going off was insane.
I know.
He was just like, who named you the chosen one, Drew? Tell me who named you the chosen one. And they go back to Drew, and Drew's smiling, grinning because he knows he can't say it. And but Punk was on something last night. He was fired up.
He was.
He was going after everyone. It looks like he's going to be on commentary for maybe just that match, but it looks like he's going to be on commentary for the show, I think. or just specifically as a guest commentator for that match. I also like the funny thing when Seth was like, "It's he can't count because that's his counting number that he heard," and then Punk got down to the mat. He started counting with his other hand. It's and the crowd started doing the 1, 2, 3 with him. Oh my god, I started dying laughing.
Yeah, this is great.
Everything about it was great. Like I said, they kind of got pushed to the back burner for a little while, but more recently it's been elevated. And this last night was insane. And it really just makes me interested in the match a lot more than I was.
Yeah.
It just depends on what they do on the go home next week now.
I think what's going to happen too is I think like Drew is going to kind of help the Bloodline win the tag match, but not like be with the Bloodline. He's going to like lay out Seth, which kind of causes Seth to lose, and then it's going to like lead into like night 2 where like Drew wins the belt. Where Drew wins the belt, because I think it's finally time Drew gets the belt. Have him be champion for a while, right around the time CM Punk comes back. But yeah,
I agree.
CM Punk was like great last night. I remember too, like there was one point where like Seth was like, "You want to know what I think, Punk?" And Punk just goes, "Nope." It was like, what the hell? Like it was like, oh my gosh,
that was controlled. That was a controlled promo.
Yeah.
From Punk, from Drew, and from Seth. You can take shots like that and still be fine.
This was great.
Because of the structure. So I don't think Punk said anything that would have offended any of them.
No.
And one of the funniest parts was when Drew went to go sit on the announce table, and like Punk crosses his legs and shit, and sits. He was like, "Don't look at my kilt, you pervert." To the cameraman. I started dying laughing.
Like that segment was great. Yeah.
The first like I said to you like in our chat, like we were an hour and 20 minutes into the show and there was one match.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. Like we got 2 off the fucking rails, like off the wall crazy segments to start the show.
Yeah, we did.
It's amazing.
But yeah, those are the matches that are confirmed that are definitely happening like on which night, we definitely know a match at night 1. We know 2 matches at night 2. Let's talk about the other matches that are on WrestleMania. We don't know when they're going to happen. I'll just read them like kind of from bottom to top from Wikipedia. One match we know is happening is for the United States Championship. Logan Paul will be defending against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. This feud's been built up pretty well. Obviously, they did the whole thing, where Logan Paul screwed Randy Orton over. So the Randy Orton got his comeuppance when he RKO'd, when Logan Paul was announcing that, like, Prime now is going to be partnered with WWE. Every pay-per-view, there's going to be, like, the Prime logo in the middle of the ring. So Randy Orton RKO'd KSI recently. And then, Logan Paul, the feud with him and Kevin Owens has pretty much still been ongoing. They still don't like each other. And then Logan Paul basically to like challenge Nick Otis to find like a match for him at WrestleMania. I've been enjoying also too like the back and forth that Logan Paul and like Nick Otis have been having with each other like recently. I think that's been really good. Obviously Nick Otis was just like I did find an opponent for you at WrestleMania. Well, not just one opponent, like 2 opponents. It ended up being like Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. The feud's like there. It obviously hasn't been built fully on SmackDown, because the Bloodline stuff are going on. I imagine this week it's going to really kind of kick into overdrive since I don't think anything's going to happen with the Bloodline this week. It's pretty. I think it's pretty clear that like Roman and Rock and Cody, no one's going to be there. So I think all the other feuds recently on SmackDown that have been put on the back burner are going to really be kicked into overdrive on SmackDown this week. So I think this will be one of them. I've enjoyed this feud for the most part. I think the match would be really good at WrestleMania. I kind of like the fact, that Logan Paul is kind of going there. And they've been kind of teasing some tension between KO and Randy because, there's been a couple of times where they've almost like laid each other out and all that type of stuff, which has been good. And I like this feud. I like the fact that they kept the Kevin Owens and Logan Paul like feud going, and I like the fact that Randy has been kind of brought into this now. Um, it's just been good. It's been a good feud. How do you feel about this United States Championship match they have going on?
I like it. I think again, like without the bloodline on SmackDown, possibly maybe not at SmackDown this week. The other matches will be able to step up.
Yeah,
The women's match, Io and Bayley can take a little bit of a spotlight. The triple threat, yeah, and it's just some of the other stuff needs to be able to be given spotlight, and to have the bloodline and Cody off this week on SmackDown will allow the other matches to kind of build up for the go home. Because all those fucking next week is just gonna be wild. The bloodline storyline is gonna encompass 2 shows.
yeah, definitely.
So it's whether it's I think this week Jimmy and Jay I think are gonna get a big spotlight on SmackDown.
Yeah, that's
Also too.
um, but yeah, that's the U.S. title program. Talking about speaking of Jimmy J, you just talked about it. They're finally going into motion at WrestleMania. They've had they've had they I can't believe it. They actually have turned me around. I remember for months after the Jimmy turn, I was like, I'm not excited for this. I don't want to see this. And Jimmy as a heel really wasn't working on SmackDown. It's finally working now. I don't know what happened. It just seems like it's something. It was like an overnight change or something. I feel like Jimmy's looked fairly credible recently. They finally had the match go on with him and his brother. They had that promo segment, not this week but last week, where Jimmy was kind of talking down to Jay and all that type of stuff. There's still a bit of the storyline that doesn't make sense. He talked about recently how I never left the bloodline, but you left the bloodline. But it's dude, the whole reason Jay left the bloodline is because you left the bloodline, dude. That still doesn't even make any sense. You're the one that started all of this. Jay left the bloodline for you, and now you turned on him. I still don't like that part of the storyline. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
But they definitely had me intrigued. I obviously I still think they could have had me more intrigued how they kind of build up Jimmy as a credible heel along the way. I feel I still they finally got it back on track now, but I feel they should have done that a while ago. But yeah, I feel like this feud's been good. I'd like a stipulation to be added to this match. I feel like they should do no DQ or maybe a cage match or a strap match or something. Something to kind of get to since this is a blood feud and all that type of stuff. But I've been pretty into this feud. Again, obviously some of the logicals are annoying and all that type of stuff, but it's been better now. I feel like Jimmy, they finally got him as a credible heel. Jay looks really good. So yeah, how do you kind of feel about the Jimmy and Jay Uso feud kind of going on right now?
I love it. The past few weeks has been put into overdrive. It needed to be. Because over when Jimmy turned on Jay, it's nothing. Jay was on his own.
Yeah.
On Raw, doing great. Won the tag titles with Cody. Was doing really awesome by himself. And Jimmy just kind of fell back into the bloodline again. He felt so insignificant. He was the fucking fall guy in every attack. John, when Cena was feuding with Solo, he just beat the shit out of Jimmy every week.
Yes, he did.
And I was wow, even we would do the show, you could see it, we were anti Usos match, and we were going to be all for it, and it just felt like Jay was pushed through the roof there to the moon for a while. Super over with the yeet and with the wave taunt. that he does. He got really over really fast. And then just recently in the last like few weeks, it's been like really good. They had that face to face. They finally came to blows, and it felt like Jimmy actually felt like a big deal. For the first time in a long time, he felt like a big deal. And now this match is something I'm totally looking forward to.
Yes.
And I would absolutely love it if Solo was in the corner of Jimmy and Rikishi was in the corner of Jay.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great.
That would absolutely, or he's the special guest referee.
Yeah, that'd be good too. Also,
again, because it's both of his sons.
Yeah. Maybe that could be something that happens like this week. Is like
or the go home.
I say this week though, because there'll be more time for it this week, where like Solo, Jimmy and like Jay and stuff, like Rikishi could kind of get involved type of thing.
Yeah.
We forgot, but I remember we said these matches are not confirmed on what night at WrestleMania. We do like a prediction. What night of WrestleMania do you think this match will like fall under? I feel like this is gonna go on night 2, just because I feel like night 1's gonna be all of, like the only bloodline thing we're gonna see is just that tag match. I think this is gonna go on night 2.
I feel like this one would be night 1.
Okay.
Just because I think they want Jay for the main event, Jimmy and Jay for the main event, in case of like.
Yeah.
So that's if they go night 1, they'll probably be one of the first matches on the show.
Yeah.
And that kind of keeps them fresh for that main event, because I know that for a fact if Cody and Seth lose, they're going to be involved in the main event.
That's true. I'll still say night 2, just because just because why not?
I mean, they could be the kick. They could be the first match on the show.
I thought you were gonna say the kickoff. Like no, not gonna be a kickoff. Like because
they're on the pre-show, baby.
I mean, it would be the first time they got kicked to the pre-show. So,
not even the pre-show. The pre-show. The SmackDown before.
Oh, that's not even that's worse. Then we have the other. We didn't really guess what the United States title match. I think that's gonna be night 2. I think they're gonna. I don't think the mid card titles will be in the same show, so I think that would be night 2. What do you think?
I think the U.S. title goes night 2, just because of where there's the other multi-man match.
Yeah,
I feel like they want to start off night 1. I feel like the tag titles are going to be night 1 also too.
And then we have another match that's on WrestleMania. We have LA Knight versus AJ Styles. This is a continuation from their feud. After AJ Styles cost them the Elimination Chamber match, and stuff. Not much has really happened with this feud. There's definitely fire there. But they had LA Knight challenge him to a match a couple of weeks ago at WrestleMania. Well, they've been basically doing this thing where LA Knight's been looking for AJ Styles, but AJ Styles just hasn't been showing up and all that type of stuff. And they had that segment where AJ Styles laid him out with the chair, he accepted his challenge, and then they did that segment recently where LA Knight invaded AJ Styles' house and got arrested and all that type of stuff. I like this feud for the most part. I admit they haven't had a lot of screen time, I think, mainly because I think the Bloodline stuff's kind of taken up all that stuff. Before the time they've been doing on SmackDown, I think it's been good. I haven't hated it or anything like that. They've definitely taken advantage from the time they've been given. I imagine they're going to continue this feud after WrestleMania, so that way it can get more of a spotlight, since the Bloodline stuff's going to be kind of gone for a while. But this has been a pretty solid feud. I just kind of wish kind of feels like this kind of got put on the back burner and all that type of stuff. I'm glad they're having a match together at WrestleMania, because it makes all the sense in the world. Since LA Knight kind of came in and took AJ Styles' spot in that tag match at Fastlane and everything like that. So there's definitely stuff here. I just it hasn't gotten as much screen time as I would have liked. I kind of hope they kind of fix that problem on SmackDown this week. They kind of both can So there's going to be nothing Bloodline related really this week. They could kind of like get like a little bit of more of a spotlight. I've been pretty into this though. It's good that LA Knight will have a big match. I mean, obviously, I think a lot of people would have liked him to like fight for the U.S. title against Logan Paul. I think that would have happened, but I think now that Logan Paul's contract, he's a little bit more full time now. I think that's why they're keeping the belt, especially too. I think he's keeping the belt because SummerSlam's in Cleveland, and he's like from Cleveland. They probably want to keep the title on him, like till like maybe he might even keep it till after that. But he's definitely going to be champion until like then. But overall, though, I've been into the LA Knight AJ Styles feud. How you kind of feeling about this one?
I feel like I kind of again like it really kicked off recently, so because they kind of had AJ kind of come back and be almost like the lone wolf type of gimmick, like in TNA, and then they kind of went away from it.
Yeah.
Until Chamber, and then they did the home invasion. Very, I will say, very 2007 of them. With Triple H and Randy Orton.
2009. It was 2009.
Was it 09?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. It's very very similar to that. And I liked it. I did like how they presented it. They presented it like he really got arrested. And it wasn't like how they do some arrests sometimes where it's like very obviously goofily staged.
Yeah.
So like in the Vince era, it was like they would have these random people like around, like, and it's just like, yeah, all right, this is like dumb and stupid. This felt like very real, and I like the authenticity of that.
I just find it funny though that the Cops just happened. Were they filming an episode of Cops though? Because the Cops came out like with the camera and everything like that. Like were they like filming an episode of like Cops with like AJ Styles with like LA Knight gonna get arrested? Like is LA Knight gonna be on Cops like the next episode of Cops whenever that happens or whatever? Like LA Knight just on Cops now? Like
yeah, that'd be funny.
But yeah, I've been into this. Do you think though, like, because I definitely think this is continuing after WrestleMania. I think they're gonna have like one more match at Backlash, so that way, like, they can get like more of a, they could be like more, they can do more stuff with it on TV. Do you think that's gonna happen? Do you think they're gonna do like one match at Mania and then it's done?
I think that this is gonna have more legs to it. I definitely think this is a night one first match on the card.
I agree. I agree. Maybe not first match, but it'll be like, I could see it like following something or whatever. Then we have another match that's going to happen at WrestleMania. I can't believe this is a thing. We have like a 6-pack tag team ladder match for the Undisputed Tag Team shit. What the hell? I mean, I know, like, it's just like, what is life? Like, what is that? Like, what is it? So it's basically 6 teams in one match, pretty much. It's like that's gonna be a lot of people in a ladder match. Like that's gonna be like it's gonna be fun. I mean, pretty much, this is great because it gets all these teams on the show that belong there. Pretty much, Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce came together and announced this 6-pack tag team ladder match with the Judgment Day gonna have to defend their titles. It was all Truth's idea, all Awesome Truth's idea, which is just hilarious that this is Awesome Truth's idea. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, you could totally tell like Truth like came up with this, but we already have some teams making their way into this match. We've had a few qualifying matches. Awesome Truth qualified by defeating what's the name of that? Indushere. That's the name of that tag team. That's it. That was good.
That's the name of those guys.
And then the New Day qualified by defeating Alpha Academy, and then DX qualified by defeating the Creed brothers. They were all really good matches. Triple H and Shawn Michaels can still go. It's like they'll be completely different people. It's insane,
Oh yeah. Regeneration X. Yeah.
Yeah. All members of Regeneration X are in the match now. And then on SmackDown, it's a bit weirder. They're doing like 2 mini tournaments, and whoever wins them qualifies for the matches. So far, the two mini tournaments, the Street Profits got to the finals by defeating AOP, and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller got to the finals by defeating the Good Brothers. And then Legato qualified by defeat in LWO, and then what's the name of British Strong's title? Not, I mean, no, whatever. What's the name of what's the new tag name? I always forget what it is.
New Catch Republic.
Yeah, they beat Pretty Deadly to qualify. So now that I think on SmackDown this week we're gonna get like the finals. So it's gonna be New Catch Republic versus Legato, and then we're gonna get the Street Profits versus Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I'm just guessing here. I imagine New Catch Republic will advance, and then I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are actually going to advance. Because believe it or not, Grayson Waller always does like a big spot anytime he's in like a multi-person like ladder match or something. He always does like I remember like the big spot he did at like Stand and Deliver in 2022. He did like didn't he do like an elbow drop or something like to someone through like a ladder? I think he did that. Yeah, obviously I'm pretty into this. Obviously this is just going to be like a match that's just a bunch of carnage and all that type of stuff. I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm really glad that they're doing this ladder match because I think that this was probably the best direction to go for like the tag titles and everything like that. How do you kind of feel about this ladder match that they got coming up?
Wild. This match is going to be great. It's going to be a fucking insane match. I think it's going to be on night one.
I do too.
It's just this match it's just wild. Again, we're waiting on the last competitors coming up.
Who do you think they'll be?
On SmackDown. Who's in it again?
What's the I know you just said it, but what's the British Strong Styles new tag team name again? I keep forgetting.
New Catch Republic.
Yeah, them versus Legato. And then that's the first one, and then it's Austin Theory and Grayson Waller versus the Street Profits in the second finals.
I think it's gonna. I honestly think out of all, I think it's gonna be Dunn and Bate that are in the match.
And then, well, it's two matches. It's not a 4-way. It's the end of like 2 mini tournaments. So it's what's the what I know you keep saying, I keep forgetting what it is, but what's the new tag name again? I'm not
New Catch Republic.
I'm not forcing you to keep saying. I legitimately keep forgetting what the new tag team name is. They'll be the new Catch.
Stupid.
It'll be the new.
So, I think that the New Catch Republic. I think they're going to be in the match.
And then out of the Street Profits and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, who do you think will be it? Because they're facing off in the other mini tournament.
I'll go with the Profits.
All right, there you go.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
that'd be fucking insane.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this match.
Montez Ford is gonna do a swanton off the like Shelton Benjamin off one of those ladders. Yeah. That's leaning. I think he's gonna do like a fucking flip dive off the ladder.
They gotta qualify first. They gotta get in the match. They're not in the match yet, Chris. So you don't.
They're gonna be in it. I said they're going to be in it. They're going to be in it.
But I hope this doesn't happen. A lot of people are predicting that they're going to use this match to finally split the belts. Like one team will grab one set of titles and the other team will grab the others. I really hope they don't do that. That'd be really stupid. I kind of hope they just win. Because that's just stupid to even do that. Like that sounds like such a Vince thing that he would do to use this match to split up the titles. I really hope they don't do that. Do you think that's going to happen or no?
I wouldn't think so.
Do you want that to happen? Because I don't really want that to happen.
I think they're fine as one, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, but so that's the other match that's been set up for WrestleMania. We have 3 more to talk about. We have the Intercontinental Championship match. It's Walter defending against Sami Zayn. Pretty into the build to this match. Obviously Sami Zayn won a gauntlet match to get here. And they've been kind of playing the storyline where Sami Zayn, Walter keeps saying that Sami Zayn can't beat him. Chad Gable's been saying it. And, Sami Zayn's basically been letting Walter get into his head and everything like that, which cost him a win on Raw this past week. Basically they're kind of telling like a mental game with Sami Zayn. We've seen this before, but I think they're telling this like in a new way because basically Chad Gable is telling him to change his approach pretty much. We're not to be like, the NXT Sami Zayn, you gotta overcome this. It looks like we're going to get something like next week on Raw where like Chad Gable's going to like coach Sami Zayn like threw it and all that type of stuff. I'm pretty into the storyline. I mean, the thing that sucks about it is I really wanted Chad Gable to be in the match so that way he could like finish his storyline at WrestleMania, because they kind of told that story where like, you know, like he wanted to win the belt for his daughter and everything like that. So I kind of wish he was in the match instead. But you know, the Sami Zayn bit of it's been fine. I don't know if Sami Zayn's winning the belt or not. It's really tough to tell because it could really go either way. But yeah, overall, how do you kind of feel about the Walter like Sami Zayn Intercontinental title program? I think it's been pretty good.
I think it's been very good. A lot of people wanted Gable, but I think Sammy fits perfectly too. Also, but yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's been really good so far.
And you know, we said this. I think we both think this will be night 2 since we think night 1. This will be night 1 since the U.S. title match we predicted will be night 2. You know, they're gonna separate the mid card title matches and all that type of stuff. The thing I hope that doesn't come out of this is that Gable goes heel and turns on Sammy. I really hope they don't do that. They'll be really stupid because there's no reason for Gable to turn heel. It's looking like they're gonna go that direction, but I'm kind of hopeful that doesn't happen. What about you? What do you think about that? Because it's looking like Gable's probably gonna go heel.
I don't like the idea of him going heel, but again, if Sammy wins the Intercontinental title, I could see it. But yeah, I just don't. It just wouldn't really make any sense.
And then we have the last 2 matches, both the women's main title program matches. We have the women's world title match. It's Rhea Ripley going to defend against Becky Lynch. This feud's been good. They finally, I think, kicked this feud into overdrive on Raw, because before they weren't really interacting with each other all that much. It was just kind of like, you know, they were going to face off, but then they finally kicked it into overdrive on Raw. So, you know, if we did this show yesterday before Raw, we probably would have been like, we're looking forward to the match, but they haven't built to it all that well. They finally did it on Raw, so they finally fixed that problem. I mean, you're happy because you got to see like Becky deck Dom in the face. I bet you were happy about that.
That was fucking incredible.
But overall, I've been pretty into this feud. I really don't know who's gonna win because you know, I think Becky probably should win because I feel like it's time for Rhea to drop the title, but like it's at the same time, Rhea's kind of finally at that point where she's starting to face like the top stars for the title now. And I feel like they could do like a nice kind of like Cody like storyline where she has like a redemption arc, it kind of comes back to it, or like maybe they do a double turn and Becky goes here and Rhea goes face or something. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty into this feud. I think this will be a night 2 match at WrestleMania because I feel like this feels like a night 2 match at WrestleMania. But overall, what do you think of like this? And also, too, I think, like, you know, whatever match the tag title match is in, they're just going to have, you know, they'll have or whatever match Dom has at WrestleMania, they'll have Rhea be at the same night as them, you know, gotta keep the couples together, you know, they're a couple apparently. So, overall, how do you kind of feel about, you know, this, like, storyline between Becky and Rhea and everything?
I love it. I do. I think that Dom getting punched in the face was deserved because he's a fucking piece of shit. He's just a fucking asshole. I get like it was awesome, and I've watched it 1,000 times, and I've seen it in slow motion, and watching it punch in a stupid fucking face, his stupid ratty face is amazing. Just watching his fucking jaw snap. Oh, beautiful cinema. But yeah, they needed to get physical, and it truly felt real. Like, it felt like they wanted to really beat each other up, and I like that.
Yeah. Then the last match that's made official for WrestleMania. This has been official. It was the first match really set for WrestleMania. It was the women's title match. It's Io Sky defending against Bayley. This feud's been really good. They just recently did the segment where Dakota Kai ended up turning heel, and we found out it was like a ruse. She turns back. She was aligned with Damage Control all this time, and then they're telling the storyline where like Bayley, you know, feels like, you know, that this is all her fault because she set up Io Sky and everything like that to be, you know, and set up Damage Control. They've been telling the storyline where she didn't have any friends, but then Naomi aligned herself with her. They've been telling the storyline with Bianca Belair. I've been really into this feud. I feel like other than the Bloodline thin. This has been really cooking on SmackDown with all of the storylines kind of going on and everything like that. I imagine this will get like, if the Usos don't do anything on SmackDown this week, this will get like a really big spotlight on SmackDown this week since you know um, that's happened. But I've been pretty into this feud. Obviously, I would love it more. I think I talked about this. I really wish Sasha Banks was coming back because like that would really add some fire into this. But they've been doing good with Naomi. The Bianca Belair part of it's been really good. And I've been pretty into this. I've been pretty into Bayley as a babyface. She's really over now. And yeah, how do you kind of feeling about this woman's side of feud? I've been pretty into this.
Yeah, it looks really good. Bailey is a face finally. She's so massively over again. Yeah, like it's going to be a really good match at WrestleMania, and I'm looking forward to it. It's just interesting to see where the others fit into it now.
Yeah, I agree.
Looks like Jade's going to be a part of it.
Yep.
So we'll see where he fits in. I'm hearing a lot of people say that Bianca might turn turn heel, but it just depends on what would happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this match.
Yeah, I can't wait for this. That's basically all the matches confirmed at WrestleMania. Looking like a really exciting WrestleMania so far. I really don't see how they can drop the ball in like a week. I mean, it's not nothing, but not saying that it can't happen. But I'm really looking forward to the card. I think they built up the card. Probably one of the most like well thought out, well put together like card at WrestleMania. With every match on the card, it feels like has like some storyline development going into it and everything like that. If I had to say what's my hype level, I'll give it like 2 thumbs up. Where would you put how many thumbs up you giving like your hype to WrestleMania?
As a whole,
yeah, everything like
50 thumbs up.
You don't have 50 thumbs though.
50,002.
You don't have that many thumbs.
And then you just take off the 50,000, and that's how many thumbs up I give it.
Okay.
So I give it 2 thumbs up.
Now I kind of want to talk about some storylines they've been doing that really doesn't have anything to do with WrestleMania. I mean, there's only really like one really I want to make sure we talk about because it's been like pretty bad. And I'm gonna let you talk about it because you've been waiting to talk about this for a while. They've been kind of doing some new stuff with Candice LeRae recently. That's been pretty bad. You might be able to talk about it pretty quickly. So you want to just kind of talk about what's been going on with Candice LeRae recently because I know you've been kind of waiting to talk about this for a while.
This it stemmed from Maxine getting booed at a live event. You're paying fucking money. You can go and say you can say that she sucks. I mean, she's not good. But you're paying money. You can say that. And then all the wrestlers kind of got sensitive about it, and it was just really fucking stupid. And then they took that and turned this into this useless, pointless, stupid story where it's just dumb. Like they turned Candice into a heel, and then they brought Maxine's dead brother into it.
Yeah, it was just.
What is WWE's obsession? Even dating back to the Vince days of bringing people's dead siblings into things.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's just it's not necessary. Stop trying to get cheap heat. Just fucking do it naturally, organically. It's completely unnecessary.
Yeah, it's really stupid. I don't mind
to get Maxine over.
Yeah.
And it's not doing a goddamn thing for her.
It's all bad too, because they know this is bad because they always put it like right after like a hot segment. Like if you notice the match last night between like Ivy Nile and Candice LeRae was like right after that like CM Punk segment because no one was gonna be no one so like no one was even into that anyways. It's just like what are we doing here?
No, no, no entrances, and the match lasted maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah,
That shows you how much Triple H cares about that feud.
yeah.
No matches, no entrances, and maybe a 2-minute match. Go out there and fucking do all you can in 2 minutes. Because this storyline sucks.
Yeah, it's bad. Um, you know, I'm kind of whatever about like Maxine Dupree like being booed. I'll admit she's not good, but like at least she's like trying. Like you know, she talks about how she's in the performance center all the time. You know, I mean, I also kind of sympathize with her because it's not you know she was called right up abruptly pretty much to like the main roster. Like she never had a match because she mentioned she was injured when she signed, and her first match on like the brand, like any type of WWE television, was on Raw. So it's like you know, she seems to be like putting in the work and everything like that. So it's just yeah, you know. Kind of weird how that happens, but yeah, there was just no need to do this like Candice LeRae. I don't mind like Candice LeRae, I guess going like heel obviously because like they need to kind of change up the Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell like dynamic and everything like that, considering the fact that you know what they were doing on Raw, what they were doing as like faces kind of really wasn't working. They were just kind of enhancement talent. But then like you know you're kind of having like this go on now, and it's like yeah we didn't really need this. This is just not good. Just bad. It's really like the only thing honestly that's like really egregiously bad on like the WWE like main roster like product at the moment. It's just not good. Sucks. Um, so now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do like the state of the NXT Stand and Deliver talk. We're gonna look at all the matches and Stand and Deliver. And we're gonna talk about like a hype level for it. So I'll ask the same question. What's kind of like your hype right now for NXT Stand and Deliver? I'll go first because you went first like last time, so it's only fair I go first this time. Because we have to make things fair, you know.
No, everything's gonna be fair.
You know, I'm obviously like pretty hyped for Stand and Deliver. I obviously I think I'm just more hyped for WrestleMania. I feel like this would just be like a fun show to watch, like the day of. Most of the feuds don't have a lot of life behind them. There's only really like one match I'm absolutely looking forward to, and we'll get to that match. There's one match I'm absolutely not looking forward to, and I think you know what match that is. And then, you know, there's a couple matches that like I think one of the matches we don't even know like the full competitors yet, and then the NXT title match we'll kind of talk about that later on. I think this is just going to end up being like a fun show to like watch like the day of. I will say my hype is there more this year than it was last year. Like you know, I remember last year I was really not looking forward to that show because NXT's product was really abysmal. So it's still not the best like this year, but I'm definitely like not
Still abysmal.
yeah. I'm definitely like not disinterested in this show. I feel like you know maybe because you know I know like I feel like the competitor's gonna put on some like good matches and stuff. And again, it's WrestleMania week. It'll be fun. But what's your like excitement level going into Stand and Deliver this year?
I will say, it's like I'll put it. It's in the middle. I'm not really looking forward to it. It could surprise me, but the way that NXT has been booked for the longest time has been not abysmal, but just not good to average.
Yeah, I agree.
And all of their females are like women wrestlers are the same.
Yeah.
For the most part, every face is the same.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Besides really Thea Hale,
yeah.
No one, everyone else is like the same generic cookie cutter babyface. They rip off a lot of gimmicks from the past. Ren Sinclair, or Maddie Renkowski, as she was known on the Indies, is basically Bayley.
Really? Yeah, very much so.
She's absolutely 100% a Bayley ripoff. And not like NXT Women's Champion Bayley, but like main roster, scared little girl Bayley
Yeah.
from when she was first called up the main roster, where she was terrified of like everything,
Oh,
like
yeah, it's
a
really bad.
fucking
Yeah.
like when she was like a fucking dog during a thunderstorm. It's just like nothing on the show like is really. I mean, the NXT Championship match is of some interest. The tag title match is going to be of interest. Trick and Carmelo is something I'm very, very looking forward to. And Lyra versus Roxanne, I don't care about that.
Oh yeah, just save. I'll let you talk about that when we get there. So save your energy for when we get to there. So
I'm gonna. It's Venom. It's
yeah, that's what I'm saying. To save your energy for that because I'm saving that. I'm letting you talk about that. So um,
yes.
but we'll take the same path. We'll talk about matches that like look like that are being built up to happen that Stand and Deliver. That it's really tough to tell because like I don't because the show's in the afternoon, so I imagine they're not going to try to load this show too much because obviously they don't want to like dilute from WrestleMania, didn't take away from WrestleMania. They probably want to get this over with. I like relatively a good time, so that way fans can have kind of a chance to breathe before WrestleMania. I don't think that very many more matches are going to get announced. I feel like there's 4 matches announced right now. I think they're going to add like maybe 2 more matches, maybe a kickoff match or something because they've been doing a kickoff recently. The other matches, obviously, I think something with the North American titles getting added. Obviously, Oba Femi's going to defend the title. It seems like that's going to be like some type of multi-person match, just because it seems like they're trying to throw a lot of opponents at him. They had Josh Briggs have a segment with them this week, and they've been kind of teasing Dijak. You know, I think they're not doing like qualifiers, but they're doing some type of like they're doing some matches this week where I think Sean Spears is facing Dijak and Josh Briggs is facing somebody else. I forget who it is, but they're not like qualifiers, but it's 2 cuts and that's who he's facing. They might just do a triple threat with Dijak, and Obafemi and Josh Briggs. I really don't think Josh Briggs needs to be in there. I would just rather see Dijak versus Obafemi. I feel like that's a better match. I feel like Josh Briggs just kind of feels like the fall guy in there. But overall, I feel like whatever match Obafemi has will be good. He's been very impressive in every one of his like single title like defenses and all that type of stuff. He's been very good. What type of match do you see happening for the North American title? Because I imagine he's going to defend the belt somehow, somewhere.
I think it's going to be a multi-man. I think the competitors that we saw recently in NXT are going to be the ones that it's going to be like a triple threat.
Yeah, definitely. And Obafemi's been a pretty good champion. I wish they could get like some more storylines in there. It just kind of feels like the big storylines that they're kind of going for. So he'll face an opponent, put away the opponent. It seems like that's kind of the storyline they're telling. And he needs to get, I think, a little bit more like storylines. It just feels like he's just kind of running through opponents at the moment, which is like that's a decent storyline. But I kind of want him to get like maybe it's because too like he's still fairly new, so they don't want to like give him a lot of mic time because he's good. He's like good on the mic, but he's not great on the mic yet. So like, it's kind of tough for him to really do anything storyline based. So, other matches that are being built up, I think could happen. Something with the Heritage Cup, maybe. I think that should be on the show. Like one of the members of No Quarter Catch Crew defending the cup against somebody. I don't know who against who, but I just definitely think like some form or another they should be on the show somehow. Like they could squeeze in an opponent somehow if they need to, just because they've been a pretty main focal point on NXT recently. They could do Duke Hudson obviously because they're kind of in a feud with Chase U at the moment, and Duke Hudson kind of fits the Heritage Cup like rules type of thing. So I definitely think that should happen. I'm really into obviously the No Quarter Catch Crew. I really like that faction. I'm glad that they're finally getting like the TV time because for a while it just kind of felt like they were kind of like job faction. They're finally pushing it the way that it should be pushed. I like the rules that they have. I mean, I don't. How can you not? Yeah, I think you like the no quarter catch crew because of the name, no quarters. Yeah, you like that a lot. So yeah, how do you feel kind of like about the possibilities of like what they could do at NXT Stand and Deliver? Do you think they'll even do anything Stand and
Um,
Deliver?
I think the Heritage Cup will be somewhere involved. I believe. Again, we're still like 2 weeks away. Still have two more
Yeah,
NXTs left before Stand and Deliver, so we'll see. But yeah, all the quarters, no, none of the quarters, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, 5 quarters, all the quarters catch crew.
yeah,
No, but they also give me no quarters at the same time. But there's 4 of them, so there'll be
yeah.
4 quarters then.
By the way, are you allowed
Each of them would need a quarter.
to? Maybe they just use. Maybe they don't do quarters. They do dimes, pennies, and nickels. Maybe that's what they do. They don't. That's what they.
Uh, but they're but again, I think they will be somewhat involved at Stand and Deliver.
Especially because it's in Philly. Isn't Drew Gulak from Philly? So I imagine that's why I think they'll try to
Yeah,
get involved. Like Gulak could be the one that has a match. Like he'll like defend the cup.
he should.
Um,
He absolutely should.
yeah. Another match that could be on the show is obviously this could be a kickoff match or something, but I feel like they'll try to get Sean Spears on the show somehow since he's a big signing that just came back recently. I think he could face Ridge Holland again, like you recommended. I mean, why don't you because you haven't been able to talk about it yet? Why don't you talk about kind of like what it's been like when Sean Spears has been back and why that could be because you predicted that could be the match that gets added and everything like that.
I love it. I love that Sean Spears is back. He looks more menacing than ever. He's the chairman again.
Yeah,
Clearly, from his AEW days, he's the chairman again. So it's a heel gimmick, obviously, and he's been it's really given a shot in the arm to NXT to have him back again. Because this is a gimmick he didn't do in NXT prior.
yeah.
He was the perfect 10. He was in a tag team with Jason Jordan. He was prior to that in developmental with Cody. So it wasn't like he wasn't doing this gimmick before. So it's a whole new gimmick to that audience. And it got over, and I feel like him and Ridge are going to be on the show in some way, shape, or form.
And this feud's been good. I feel like I like the fact that they put Ridge Holland in this feud because I feel like the Ridge Holland Gallows feud just was not working. So I'm kind of glad they pivoted to this feud instead, which has been really good. Kind of good way to get Sean Spears kind of back in the door and everything like that. He's been really good, obviously, at the moment. Still early days, obviously, because like it's tough to tell, like will his return work out in the end? Because it's still like early days. He's only been back came back a month ago. He's only been back like a month, I think, at this point now. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. He's been signed for a long time. He's been signed for a couple months, but yeah, he's been back for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad they put him in NXT instead of putting him on the main roster because I think he would have gotten lost in the shuffle very quickly if he went to the main roster. I think NXT he can kind of spread his wins a little bit more. He has a lot of stuff he can do. He could challenge for the North American title. Honestly, I kind of wish he would have been in the actual NXT title match with Dragunov. But because I feel like they could have really built to that, where like he could basically do the Ridge Holland feud with like, try to get in Dragunov's head and everything like that, and take the title off Dragunov, but that just didn't happen. Yeah, I'm kind of into what he's doing at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see. Let's get to actual matches that are on the show. I can't really think of anything else they could add. They could obviously add Sal Luca versus Blair Davenport because she just came back recently, and they could do that match. That could be like a kickoff match or something. They could do Thea Hale and Fallon Henley versus JC Jane and what's the person that is it Jasmine or whatever, that person that's like with JC Jane. Yeah. So because that's a big storyline they've been doing for a little while. There's a lot of other matches they could do. They could do. I don't think they would all be on the show, but that could be like an idea for because I know NXT usually does like a pre-show match every month. That I think the most likely one I think that would be pre-show is probably that tag match I said with Fallon Henley and Thea Hale since they've been because it would be a good way to get Thea Hale on the show and everything like that. So, yeah, then we kind of have to go through what's actually announced for the show. We'll kind of talk about the one we really don't know yet because it's definitely confirmed is going to happen, but we don't know like all the competitors. It's the NXT Tag Team Title match. It's going to be the Wolf Dogs defending against the winners of a mini tournament they're kind of doing. They basically have been doing tag matches recently, and the winners of that will face off in like a triple threat tag. So they had um, LWO beat Out the Mud. Axiom and Nathan Frazier beats Charlie Dempsey and Miles Bourne, who will represent a no quarter catch crew. And then we had the OC beat Hank Walker and Tank Ledger recently. They're all going to face off. I think is it this week or next week at some point in like a triple threat tag match where the winners, um, are going to face for the tag titles. I'm really liking this. I'm hoping the Good Brothers end up winning just because I think they should be the ones. They've been kind of teasing the most that they're going to face off for the tag titles. I'd be fine with either team other than maybe like Axiom and Nathan Frazier. I'd be cool if LWO faced them. But there's also a caveat on tonight's NXT. Tonight, we're gonna get the Wolf Dogs are gonna face Alpha Academy, represented by Akira Tozawa and Otis. And if Akira Tozawa and Otis win, the match becomes a triple threat tag match. I don't think that's gonna happen. I feel like the Wolf Dog will just win that match, and it'll just be like a traditional 2v2 tag match. But I think the Good Brothers should win that. I feel like the Good Brothers, there's a chance for them to really get things going in NXT. I would actually like to see them become the next NXT Tag Team Champions. Because, I think that'd be really good stuff. But overall, what do you kind of think about this like kind of tag feud they've been kind of doing and all that type of stuff?
I like it. Again, I want the Good Brothers to win. It would be interesting if Alpha Academy get added to it. Don't think they will, but it'd be interesting at least. I'm very... I would love to see the Good Brothers win the tag titles. That'd be really cool. At Stand and Deliver. That's kind of like my pick right there. I would really love to see them win.
You ready for Venom to spew? You want to talk about the great build-up of the... I mean, I don't even need to say the competitors. You'll probably just end up saying them anyways. Talk about this great build for the NXT Women's Championship match at Stand and Deliver. Talk about how fantastic it's been built up and everything like that.
I will say this about this fucking match. I'm not looking forward to this match at all. They've completely butchered this. They randomly turned Roxanne into a heel, which, by the way, if you can see, just doesn't fit her at all.
Not at all.
Even remotely. She just doesn't seem like a heel. They have been... Shawn Michaels, the great genius booker that he is, has completely fucked up this character. In the last year, she's been booked so weirdly that I like it completely ruined her.
Yeah, very much so.
Absolutely, completely ruined her. It's just hearing her on the mic the last 2 weeks is like it's a babyface trying to be a heel, and she's trying way too hard, and it comes off as being just not authentic.
Yeah.
Like, it just comes off as like a little kid. Like, it just doesn't. It's just not. This just doesn't benefit her in any way, shape, or form. There's no emphasis when she speaks. There's no. It's just she's just not like a heel. Like, it's just like it's gonna fall flat in their face because they panicked because Cora got hurt. Cora shouldn't be a fucking heel in the first place. I'll tell you that right now. Terrible heel. Another fucking awful heel. They had a chance multiple times over the last half year to turn Cora into a face and make her relevant again. And they absolutely, positively refused to do it. She has been before her injury, before she tore her ACL, she became so fucking relevant that people forgot about her.
Very much so.
Yeah, she went. Yeah, she went and got her tits done. That's the obvious thing, but people completely forgot about her. She was so irrelevant, and our thinking was, hey, she's going to come back as a babyface, and team up with Roxanne. Like, that would have made so much sense. But again, they're so short on fucking heels because they've butchered this women's division to the moon. Like, it's been butchered so fucking badly.
Very much, yeah.
It's like, it's terrible that they felt the need to turn Roxanne heel. Why? Because they had a mixed reaction one time a year and a half ago? When Becky was there last year? Like, now was the time to turn her heel? Because they booed her one time? 8 months ago? 9 months ago? However long it was? Like, you fucking serious?
It's insane, yeah.
They completely ruined her. And on top of that, they tried to play on the fucking anxiety storyline. And it just failed miserably. And they took the title off her for no fucking reason. I've never seen someone fall so fast as her because of inept booking.
Yeah.
They prioritized these girls who suck over Roxanne, who is by far and away one of the most talented women on any of the rosters.
Oh yeah, totally.
By far and away the most talented.
I guarantee you,
Leaps and bounds.
I guarantee you, by the way, when it's time for her to be called up, Triple H immediately will turn her babyface too. I guarantee you that's going to happen.
He will. It's stupid. Stupid for her to even be heel in the first place. It's just mind-numbingly stupid.
Yeah.
How bad they've butchered Roxanne Perez. And it just... They had someone who was an authentic fucking babyface. And they're trying to turn her into AJ Lee.
Yeah, definitely.
They tried it with Roxanne, and they tried it with Corey, and it failed. Now they're going to try it with Roxanne? Like, I get it. They're close with Punk. They're close with AJ. But AJ Lee is one of a kind. Stop trying to make the next AJ.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not working. And it's so obvious, and it's so terrible. And she's probably going to win the fucking title at Stand and Deliver. And if it doesn't, it would be horrible if she loses at Stand and Deliver. Because then she'll be even pushed further down the card. Because if you guessed it, Shawn Michaels, who's prioritizing ass over talent. It's insane. He's prioritizing ass over talent.
Yeah, very much so.
How about focus on the fucking person who's actually talented? Instead of the women who have fucking asses. I don't give a shit what they look like in their ring attire. Can they focus on the fucking things that matter? Which is talent. Which a lot of them don't have.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It's just...
You have an extremely talented wrestler who they've, in the past year plus, have completely fucked up. Utterly fucked up. And it's something that's it's something that's so unforgivable in my mind.
I agree.
People give Shawn passes all the time because of all these like attractive women that keep coming in. Like, oh, Shawn has a type. Shawn, yeah, no shit. He cares more about what their ass looks like in their fucking attire than he does in their fucking in-ring abilities.
I mean, do you notice what he had Roxanne Perez wear? Like the first promo she cut was like a heel. That was all over Reddit and everything like that. Like right after that and everything like that. Like
It's fucking mind-numbingly stupid. He has booked her to shit.
Yeah.
For over a year. This is and I'll say it again, an incredibly talented and gifted wrestler who they've pushed behind the horse. Like, push the fucking people who are actually talented and actually care and aren't some fucking whore who shows up one week and her ass looks fat in her pants, and then all of a sudden the fucking NXT universe falls in love with her.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though they can't wrestle. And they can't fucking wrestle. So focus on the fucking people who know how to wrestle. It's bothered me for so long that, because she's one of my favorites in NXT. Immediately, she came in, had a name on the indies, loved her stuff in Ring of Honor. Her stuff with Booker was awesome. And then she comes in NXT like a house on fire. She eventually wins the NXT Women's Championship. And then it just all fucking went downhill from there.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think it's been the same.
And then she loses the fucking title without even defending it. Because it's some made-up bullshit storyline. Shawn Michaels has done everything in his fucking power, and his stupid writing team have done everything in their power to completely massacre Roxanne Perez's push.
I agree. Yeah, it hasn't been the same.
And this is no disrespect towards Lyra, because I think she's awesome.
I agree.
Absolutely awesome. Absolutely. I think she's fantastic. And she's been a great champion, but they've booked themselves into such a corner that almost Roxanne has to win for her to be fucking relevant again.
I mean, would she even be relevant too? Is the question, because of Shawn Michaels' booking team. Like, it's just tough to really.
I can't believe they sit down at a meeting, at a creative meeting, and go, "Hey, Roxanne Perez, who's extremely popular and not one time got booed, except for that one time 7 months ago. Let's turn her heel."
You know what's gonna happen?
I would have stood up and been like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?"
Yeah. And he would have been fired.
How about let's push her as a babyface? How about that? No novelty idea.
You know what's gonna happen, by the way, too. You're gonna be like, we're gonna make this fantasy book and how Corey J will come back as a babyface and dethrone Rock. Corey J's just gonna come back as a heel and align herself with Roxanne Perez. I guarantee you.
Oh, it's all you saying when she comes back in like 7 months.
Yeah.
Or 6 months, or however how far along she is in her rehab.
I guarantee you too. Shawn will do like the whole he'll make it look like he'll swerve us. He'll make it look like she's gonna go babyface, and then she'll just turn heel and join up with Roxanne Perez or whatever. Like that's gonna happen.
No, it's just it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
What they've done to her is criminal.
Yeah. Yeah. So this the match probably will be good, but it's gonna be it's gonna be.
Your next is gonna be good. Both of them are excellent.
I know we said that at we said that Vengeance Day though. Shawn won that match too. Don't forget.
Yeah,
Shawn
that is true. He did ruin it. But there's no cash-in attempt, at least, or to make it a triple threat match, and then for the person who cashes in the contract to make it a triple threat match to eat the fucking pin.
Well, that's all right, let's get to the next match.
Not only that, she looks stupid.
Yeah.
And then they make her eat the pin. And where's Lola been since then?
Level up.
Irrelevant.
Again, I think I feel like Shawn Michaels thought those freaking contracts were like poison or something. You notice he had Lola Femi and Lola Vice get rid of those real quick. He's like, oh my, he did not want those contracts to be around anymore. He wanted to get rid of. I think he was trying to save paper. He wanted to recycle or something. He's like, yeah, we need to save paper.
We need to save it here.
I feel like I wonder if it's on those.
We gotta plant some trees.
It felt like he thought those contracts were gonna like catch fire in their hands. You ever notice he thought those contracts were like dangerous. He had those people get rid of those wheelchairs. Like, oh my gosh, get rid of that. That's dangerous. We can't have that in this cup. Can't have that in the
Utterly bizarre. Imagine that. Imagine Seth Rollins cashing in at WrestleMania at the beginning of the match and then eating the pin and losing.
Yeah. So
that's what that was.
Yeah. Let's go through Let's go through the rest of the matches that are on the show. We have the NXT Championship match. It's going to be between Ilya Dragunov and Tony D'Angelo. This feud's been like okay. Tony D'Angelo kind of weaseled his way in here because he basically kind of negotiated like a number one contenders match between like him and Hayes, which he kind of like politicked his way to get in. He's added to his family recently. He brought in Luca Crucifino now. It's like his lawyer now. I don't know what he is exactly to like the D'Angelo family, but it seems like he's kind of there to like serve as like the tag team role now with Stacks. It seems like that's the case. And then they did that whole bit where like Dragunov came to his restaurant, they like kidnapped him, we're gonna like throw him off the bridge, and then it just didn't happen. And then like, yeah, like this feud does not have a lot of hype behind it. I think they're giving Tony D the title match because he's from Philly and they want to give him like a big main event match, which is kind of like whatever. This feud's been kind of lazily like thrown together. I haven't been necessarily like disinterested in it, but it's just been kind of like whatever. It also doesn't help that Dragunov hasn't really been around recently. Like I don't know if you remember, they did the thing like last week where he like came on like video screen and like cut off Tony D, and then like he was cut off and like didn't really say anything anymore, and like his video feed was cut off. It's just really weird. This feud's just been kind of like very lazily put together. I feel like too because it's kind of the. I feel like too because it's not going to main event, so they just want to get the title on the show, and that's kind of what it is because the main event is going to be Hayes versus Trick. So it's kind of like whatever. I really hope Tony D is not the guy to dethrone Dragunov, just because I don't think he just doesn't feel like the guy to dethrone him. I feel like the only reason I can see Dragunov losing is if he's going to main roster like right after Stand and Deliver. But
yeah, I agree with that too.
But it's like, I don't know if I want to see Tony D be the one to like take the title from him. It's like kind of this is kind of lame. Maybe it kind of help if someone signed his breakout contract, but Sean had him get rid of that real quick. But
get rid of it.
Yeah, it's on fire. No, I think he thinks it's on fire, but it's not really not on fire. But he thinks it is. Like, oh my gosh, get rid of that, get rid of that. But yeah, how do you feel about the NXT title build-up? I think it's just been kind of like kind of lazy. I haven't hated it. It's just been lazy.
Agree. Yeah, lazy. Ilya's never there. And yeah, it just seems like lazy booking, and it's just, I mean, the feud has been bad, but I feel like it's, the kidnapping and whatnot, is going to kind of set it, put it in the fast lane a little bit, speed it up a little bit.
I feel like Tony D's character's really regressed too. Like he's kind of back to what he was like before, Stand and Deliver a couple of years ago. It's like they kind of went backwards, like I talked about with his character. It seems like, and everything.
It feels like it.
I don't know what he is too. Is he a face or a heel? Because he seems like he's a baby face, but he's been acting very heelish recently. I don't know what he is.
Yeah, I don't know what he is either. It's like confusing now.
And they're clearly trying to go with like this mafia thing. This gimmick's just very stale now. Like, how much further can you go with this gimmick? Like, it just feels, that's why I kind of don't want to see him win the belt, because then what do you go from there? Like, who does he feud with? So it's like, yeah.
The stalest of the stale.
Yeah. I feel like too Dragunov, it just whatever. Then we have the best build of the whole card. It's Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this match. I really can't wait for it. I hope they add a stipulation to this match, because this feels like this should be like maybe not unsanctioned, but this should be like a no holds barred cage match type of thing, because there has a lot of there's a lot of heat behind this feud. Carmelo Hayes has been really good as a heel. Trick Williams has been really good as a face. They haven't had like a promo like together recently, where they've gone back and forth like since they've broken up. It's been kind of separate. But it's been still really good stuff. They're doing like a prime target thing this week, but I imagine like the go home week they're gonna finally have like a big promo. Um, I don't know if it's going to be one and done too, because Hayes could go to main roster after this, because he's been on the main roster anyways. It'll be kind of interesting to see what happens though, because he was on the main roster like before the Rumble as a babyface. Will they just turn him back face, or would he still stay heel and everything like that? But yeah, I'm really excited about this match. I really can't wait for it. The feud's been really good. What do you think about this feud? It's been awesome.
It's been great. I love it. I absolutely love it. Like you said, I agree with everything that you said. It needs a stip. Absolutely needs a stipulation.
Yeah, that's basically all the stuff kind of going down with Stand and Deliver. If I had to give kind of like an excitement level for the show, I'll give it like one thumb up. I'm excited about Hayes and Trick, and I'm excited about like I feel like no matter what, the tag title match will be like good, and then like Dragon off. I feel like even though I'm not excited about the NXT title match, I will say I think the match itself will be good because it's Dragon off. He's like really good, so like I think there'll be a really good match. And then like obviously the NXT title match, you can get that out of there. You can put that right in the trash. How do you feel? What's your hype level between for standard level? One thumb up, two thumbs up, one thumb down, two thumbs on the side. Where is it?
I will give it one thumb up because I am looking forward to Trick versus Carmelo. Obviously, like most of us are. I feel like the NXT championship, the NXT tag team championship match is going to be good, regardless of who's in it. And I mean, Tony versus Ilya is going to be fine, and then Lyra versus Roxanne can go in the trash as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. All right, another thing we're going to talk about is the Hall of Fame class for 2024, because they've been announced. We just haven't like really been doing the show, so we haven't announced them yet. We have some. It's a good Hall of Fame class. It's not like great, I think, just because the problem is they've kind of gone through so many of like the big people they can put in. I feel like for a couple years now, for a few years until like a lot of the big wrestlers like retire for the most part. I think we're gonna get like this isn't like a lame Hall of Fame class, but we're gonna get like kind of Hall of Fame classes where they're just gonna be like, it's good, but not like the levels of like the 2014, 2013 one where it was all Baners pretty much and everything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll kind of go through it. The main like inductees, Paul Heyman. Obviously, this makes sense because it's in Philly. He's from Philly, yeah, this makes sense for him to be the main inductee. He absolutely should be in the Hall of Fame. He's done a lot of great stuff in the Hall of Fame. Or in his career, I made it seem like he did a lot of great stuff like while he was in the Hall of Fame, but no, he did like a lot of great stuff like in his career to become a Hall of Famer. With he's been in the business since like the 90s, like even earlier than that.
Paul Heyman?
Yeah.
Paul Heyman's been in the business since fucking Vince Sr.
Yeah, so he's been in the business like a long time.
He was a photographer. And he would go around ringside and steal Bill Apter's shots way back in the fucking day.
Yeah.
That was like, God, he was riding with all the heel managers back then, like the Grand Wizard, and so on and so forth. It's crazy. Like he's been involved since he was like, I think he said he was 14. And that was back when Vince Sr. was running the promotion. So he's been involved in wrestling since he was like 14 years old.
Yeah. So like he's done a lot in this business, revolutionized the business with ECW, one of the greatest managers in the business with his alliances with Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Rick Rude, Stunning Steve Austin. Like he's done a lot in this business. He absolutely should be in the Hall of Fame. I can't wait to hear his speech. Obviously, too, he's been like known as like one of the best bookers in the business with his bookings of ECW itself, and then SmackDown and 03 to like 04. I mean, even though he get to book it for long and even like get to turn it around, but like when he
because Vince didn't like it.
But like 2019 to like 2021, he was doing some good stuff there. I mean, if you think about it, he really kind of is the reason Drew McIntyre was finally able to get his push that like a lot of people waited for. So he's been really good. Influencer, really great one of the best commentators in the business too, with his heel commentary work and everything like that. Just a true visionary. Gets the best out of every talent. Really one of the best talkers in the business. Never. I don't think I've ever seen him like botch a line on his doing one of his promos. Never. Like just a perfect talker. Absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. How do you feel about Paul Heyman to go in the Hall of Fame? You happy about it? You mad about it? Whatever.
I love it. He deserves it. From what I read, he's turned it down for years because he didn't want to go on as an active performer. So he deserves this honor. I mean, it being in Philly is significant for him. So I don't think he was going to turn it down this year just because of it being in Philadelphia. There, I don't. It seems like the Lincoln Financial Field is not really that far away from the ECW arena.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited for him. I'm very excited for him. Yeah, it's 8 minutes away.
Who do you think will like induct him? Because obviously, depending on what happens, Brock Lesnar can't do it. But it could be the Dudleys. Yeah, I think it could be the Dudleys. Because they have legend contracts now, and
yeah.
he got their start like in ECW and everything like that. I think they could do it. I think.
Or Dreamer. They can get Dreamer in there.
Yeah.
Because of the relationship that Triple H kind of has built up with Impact. I think he could get Dreamer in there.
Yeah.
If he really wanted to, he could reach out to Tony about Taz. RVD.
Yeah.
There's tons of people that he could that could induct him into the hall. But I think they'll play it safe. I think they'll just do the Dudleys just because they're under Legends contracts.
Yeah, definitely.
They're trying to go through other avenues. I mean, if they ask them, they're gonna say yes. So, and Bubba's been like teasing about like being at WrestleMania that weekend. So
yeah.
So I think it might be the Dudley induct him in.
Then we have Bo Nakano's going in. Obviously very influential. She was part of the women's division in the early stages of the 90s. She was in one of the first matches for the woman on Monday Night Raw and everything like that. So makes sense for her to go in the Hall of Fame. I'm okay with that. What do you think about that?
Absolute legend in the business. Deserves to go in. Love it. Absolutely love it. She absolutely deserves it. Her and Medusa, Alundra Blaze carried that women's division for a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
Putting up banger matches, legend in Japan. Like she absolutely deserves this honor. Yeah, I was shocked once I saw it, and I think she absolutely deserves it.
Alundra Blaze will probably induct her too if they can work that out.
Yeah, that would absolutely. I could see that happening.
And then we have someone I don't know actually, Thunderbolt Patterson. I have no clue who he is. So you might have to.
He was a old school wrestler in I think the 70s, 80s. I don't really know much about him, but I know of him.
Okay.
I never watched his work, but he was a influential African American wrestler.
Yeah. Who could induct him because I don't know his associations or anything like that.
I really don't even know. He's alive too, so that's
maybe you'll induct him.
Probably
maybe we'll have you induct him.
Yeah, because he was in the 70s, set in the 1970s.
Okay, maybe you'll induct him.
I hope so.
You'll get to go to the Hall of Fame. You'll get to meet all the wrestlers. You'll get to induct them. I don't even know what you'd say about him. You'd have to figure that out. But you'll figure it out, I think. But you might be inducting.
What the fuck is this? Scott Spears. Someone's reporting that Thunderbolt asked for. I don't even know who that is. Scott Spears is presenting him.
Oh, okay. I think
Marion resident,
that's you. That's so,
60s and 70s. Yeah, so I don't know who that is, who's presenting him, but he was a very influential
I mean, yeah,
African American wrestler in the 70s, 60s and 70s.
I mean, just stop.
He deserves the honor. It's kind of like a thing that Vince had that there was there has to be one African American wrestler in the Hall of Fame every year.
Yeah, but again, I know
So
you.
I kind of
Yeah, stop lying. You're the one that's inducted him. That name, Scott Spears. That's like
I
your.
literally have no idea. I literally have no idea who that was.
That's it. That's your alias name. You're
I
just
had to
trying to
look
like.
it up. I had no fucking clue who it was.
It's you. It's you. Stop lying.
I just want to know who the fuck it is. I have no idea who it even is.
And then we have the tag team that's going in. It's going to be the U.S. Express. You know, Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda. This obviously makes sense because they were a big tag team in the
Just a
80s.
radio person who he is.
No, but yeah, this makes sense for them to get inducted because they were a big tag team in the '80s. They were part of WrestleMania 1. I'm totally cool with them going in. That's awesome.
Absolutely love it. They deserve it too. Two of the most underrated wrestlers in the business. Just great. IRS, phenomenal character. Barry Windham goes saddled with some pretty shitty gimmicks in the WWF. But he was an absolute force in WCW.
Yeah.
He teamed up with Dustin Rhodes a lot earlier in Dustin's career, in the 80s. But yeah, into the 90s, they are just absolutely two of the most underrated wrestlers on the planet. I'm so excited to see them get inducted into the Hall of Fame.
What do you think's inducting them? Like presenting them?
I think it's going to be Bo.
Yeah, it could be.
I honestly think it is because that's Mike Rotunda's son, and that's Barry Windham's nephew. So it makes sense.
Yeah, that works. And then we have the celebrity win. It's going to be Muhammad Ali. He's going to be inducted by
Love it.
Lonnie Ali. Obviously, this makes sense since he was very influential to like the early stages of WWF. He was at WrestleMania. He faced Gorilla Monsoon. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. He faced like Gorilla Monsoon like towards the end of Monsoon's career, so it makes sense to do this.
Yep.
Obviously,
he's in the game too. So.
Yeah, so it works. So I like it. It's good stuff. Anybody else you think will get inducted? Because they have to do the Warrior Award. They haven't done that yet. So
I don't even know who else. I honestly couldn't even tell you.
Yeah. I think they usually like to do like an international like talent, like like the Great Muta went in last year, so they might do that again like this year. So we have to wait. And see we have to wait and see what happens.
Again, we have 2 weeks of television. Well, not 2 weeks, technically not, but this week and then next week of television to find out. But I like this class.
I do too. It's a good class.
I'm pumped that Ali's going in.
Yeah, and I'm pumped that like Paul Heyman's going in. I'm kind of looking forward to the US Express going in. And I get to meet a new wrestler. So that's good. Always good to meet new people. I mean, I won't physically meet him. I'll just see him on TV. I'm not going to be like
Yeah, he was more famous in the 70s and the 60s. Very charismatic wrestler. Very much in the.
I know.
In the same vein as like.
But I just made it sound like I'm gonna like actually like meet him, like see him in. I mean, I'll just see him on TV. I won't actually like meet him or anything like that. So.
Well, I guess like familiarize yourself with him.
Yeah.
But this class is pretty good. I like it.
We have some new things that's been kind of going down, since we've done the last of the show. So I want to make sure we talk about them. One I wanted to have you like mainly talk about because obviously you're like mad about it and then confused. When you talk about Booker T, kind of revealed some news that ended up not being true. You want to talk about what Booker T talked about, like while we were kind of off the air and everything.
So this is like really confusing. So Booker said that him and CM Punk got into an altercation at NXT. And Punk didn't say anything. And it turns out Booker just made it up. He just made it up. Just to get himself in the headlines. Pretty fucked up, if I do say myself, especially after everything that Punk has been through in the past year. Negatively, I will say, with Brawl Out and the Jack Perry fight. Both backstage, very real, very real, very much shoot fights that happened, actually did. And for Booker to put out something like that, it put Punk into a very negative light immediately. And it turns out he just fucking made it up. And nothing actually happened. Because Booker wanted his name in the headlines. That's such a shitty fucking thing to do. To take advantage of someone who, for the last year, has had his professional career ruined because of incidents backstage. To come out and say that, now you have people questioning Punk's integrity again. I was like, that was extremely shitty. Extremely shitty thing for him to do. Just to get himself over. But I hated every second of that. Once I saw that, I'm like, that can't be true. I'm like, it's Booker. That guy fucking makes everything up. And then, like, days later, he came out and said that, oh, it's not. Nothing actually happened. I was just testing the media. I'm like, dude, you wanted your fucking name to be in a headline. He literally said, if you read the part of if you read the article, it actually says that he won't say anything about what happened in the incident. I'm like, so you fucking as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, he made it up. He made it up. And he did. I was like, this is fucking insane. Everything that Punk's been through in the last year. Brawl Out, the fight with Jack Perry, to get fired like that, and for Booker to do that is reckless. There was so much hate and venom spewed back at Punk that had subsided. It went away. And he just decided to fucking say shit about him like that in a negative light, and it turned everyone back against him again. For a split second. And luckily people didn't stick too long. So that was just really stupid on his part. And everything that happened.
It didn't just hurt Punk, it made WWE look stupid because, like, they were taking a big risk anyways, like signing CM Punk, with all that stuff that happened. It would have made WWE look stupid because then they would have had to, like, fire Punk, like, not even, like, a year, like, less time than, like, AEW had to fire him. Like, it was just really stupid for, like, Booker T to, like, even do this and all that type of stuff.
It's fucking March. He was signed in November. It's been 4 months.
Yeah.
And that's very damaging for him to do that.
Yeah. So then all the AEW, like, fanboys and everything like that, like, we're all happy. Like, oh, look, CM Punk ain't looking so good now and all that type of stuff. Maybe Punk was in the wrong all this time. Like, the AEW fanboys got, like, their fun out of it for a few days and everything like that. So,
and it turned out it wasn't even true. I can go back to crawling into their holes again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, the real Punk is coming out. No, it actually wasn't true. So,
I just don't know why Booker did this. I remember he did this like a few years ago with, like, where him and Corey Graves made up something, like there was, like, behind the scenes, like, I don't even remember what it was about. I think it was like about like that Booker was, like, blaming, like, Corey that he got kicked off Wild Commentary, and then we found out, like, it wasn't even true. Like, I don't know why Booker does this because it doesn't benefit him. Like, it's just so weird. And I bet, like, because CM Punk's, like, meant to, like, help with NXT and stuff like that. Like, I bet, like, that was going to take that away for a few weeks. It's just like, what are you doing, Booker? Like, what are you doing?
Stupidity.
Other things that are going on, we hear that Brock Lesnar might be coming back. There was, like, reports that, he might not have been involved with, the sex trafficking as their thoughts, so they're kind of thinking of putting him back because they talked about him, like, recently, on Raw and everything like that. So it's like kind of looking like he might be coming back. Obviously, I wouldn't mind seeing him come back. I just kind of hope like they can make sure that like he's absolutely not involved. That way they don't bring him back prematurely. But I think like TKO and WWE are taking like a good approach when it comes to that because
Slow.
huh?
Take it slow with him.
Yeah. I would say like if we see him by like SummerSlam, he might be coming back, or if we see him like WrestleMania next year. But yeah, what do you kind of feel about that? Do you like do you want to see Brock Lesnar come back? Do you not? Like, how do you feeling?
If he's not involved, yeah, I'll welcome him back into WWE. He's a big draw. It kind of showed that in the grand scheme of things, they didn't really need him. But yeah, it would be if he didn't do anything and he's cleared, I think WWE would also welcome him back with open arms.
I agree.
He's not fired. He's just not being used.
Is he being paid?
I don't know. I don't think he is.
Yeah. Not like he needs to be paid.
I don't know if he's on leave or something. They didn't really say like. I don't even. Is he under contract?
I don't know.
I don't think he is.
Because they never even said that it's a Brock Lesnar that's like involved with any of this stuff. They just said it's like a former UFC fighter, current WWE superstar, but it's like obvious Brock Lesnar. So they never actually said it was him, but like obviously it is because you haven't seen him.
They alluded to it being Brock Lesnar, but who also is a former UFC champion and WWE champion.
Yeah.
It's not Ken Shamrock.
He hasn't been there. He hasn't been there since like the '90s, anyways. So,
and the timelines match up.
Yeah,
I know that he wasn't specifically mentioned, but he is a former UFC champion and a former WWE champion. There hasn't been many male crossover performers like that.
No.
Or if any, besides maybe Daniel Pewter, and Ken Shamrock, maybe.
Yeah, that might be it.
Besides Brock, like there's been like 3, maybe 4. Like I don't know. Like there's not been many.
And then we have other news that's been
not WWE champion.
Nope, not WWE.
And also not UFC champion.
Yeah, but there's been other news that even if like Vince gets cleared and we find out that none of this was him, they're saying like he's not coming back. Like there's no chance of him ever coming back. Like Vince is gone for good.
Zero.
Yeah.
0.0% chance.
Yeah, want to talk about that a little bit because I know you like talking about when it comes to like Vince not being there and stuff.
It's made the product more enjoyable. It's made it showed that Triple H can actually book a fucking show. And that all this time we just needed Triple H to come and save us, and he did. I'm not saying Triple H is the perfect booker because he's not. No one is.
Tony Khan is, according to people.
I was gonna say that anymore. But yeah, it's he's really saved WWE in so many different ways. He's made it more enjoyable product because I can guarantee you that Monday Night Raw last night would not have been as great with Vince running it as Triple H ran it last night. It was perfect.
It was awesome.
The way that he's handled The Rock, Vince would have never turned The Rock heel.
Vince would have kept that match with Rock and Roman going into WrestleMania this year.
Yep, and he would have had Cody win the WWE Championship at Saudi and treated it like WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But we don't get that. We get what we're getting, and it's better than people thought. Yeah.
Everything's cooking, so let's keep it cooking. Well, not keep it cooking. You'll burn the house down, and the food wouldn't be as good. We'll keep it cooking. Yeah. Other fans, I'll let you talk about this one. Bray Wyatt's getting a nice little documentary. You want to talk about that?
I'm very excited for it. It was one of the reasons why he's not going into the Hall of Fame this year. So expect his name to be penciled in next year. He's not going in because of that. He's getting the doc. and it's a huge spotlight on him, and he's still very missed to this day. It's been almost a year, it'll be a year this August, since he's passed away, and it doesn't. It's very, very weird that he's no longer with us, and that we're getting a post-mortem documentary about him, with his brother being involved, which is pretty awesome.
Narrated by narrated by the Undertaker.
I think this might. Oh yes, that also too. I think this might be a way for Bo to get back on TV.
Yeah.
Which is very. I'm going to be excited if that happens, because I definitely think that he should be back on TV in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, we don't know
whether it's Uncle Howdy or whether it's Bo Dallas. Either way, he deserves the spotlight.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We probably won't review it. Like we'll definitely review it, but I don't know when, because obviously we're gonna have a lot of stuff that's gonna be going down. Like I feel like we shouldn't do. I want to make sure like we can dedicate like enough of like a spotlight like to it and everything like that. So,
yeah,
we'll definitely like review it, but it probably won't. We're probably gonna be reviewing it later than everybody else will, just because it's gonna be a crazy schedule. The next Aftershock most likely it's gonna be predictions for like WrestleMania, and then the one after that will be the reviews of like the WrestleMania like week and stuff. So
probably near the end of April then.
Yeah, at some point. And then we're getting another documentary too. It's like basically about the performance center and stuff. I have to look up the name of it because I forget what it is. But it's like kind of like it's gonna be on Roku. It's looking into like the new superstars that have like signed and all that type of stuff.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty real stuff. It looks like it's kind of like a reality show, but not like a complete reality show either. So that's good. It's Next Gen Debuts, I think it's called. Or just Next Gen. Debuts in the name. That just says it's debut, but it's called Next Gen. I'm looking forward to it. We get like kind of like a background for some of these people.
Yeah.
Obviously, it looked like it's going to be like a Tough Enough style, kind of like documentary series type of thing, which is going to be kind of cool. It doesn't look like it's like a competition show either. It just kind of looks like it's just kind of like looking like a day in the life of like kind of what it's like for them to get signed and everything like that. A lot of people,
executive producer. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. How do you feel about this coming out?
I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty weird that it's on Roku, but yeah, it's definitely it's going to be interesting for sure. Gives you a look into some of the PC recruits recently that they've recently signed.
Yeah, you're gonna be. I feel like you're gonna be watching every episode all hours. You're gonna watch every episode every second. You're not gonna like do anything else. So
every second of every minute of every hour.
Yeah. Other things to talk about. I want to talk about the game a little bit because the game's been out, for a few weeks now. We both been like playing it. Not at the same time because you've had, you and I both have had interesting stories when it comes to that. Why don't you go first? Because you've been able to kind of play it a little bit more than I have. So kind of talk about like your experience of what it's like to kind of play the WWE 2K24 at the moment and everything like that.
I love it. I think it's been a really, really good game. I beat Showcase.
I still gotta do that.
I poured a lot of money into this fucking game.
So did I.
I had to buy a lot of the shit for me to have a full roster. So
yeah,
I'm committed to playing this game for a lot because I probably spent way too much money on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. My only complaint is the DLC is like way too spaced out.
Okay.
Like that's my only complaint is that it's about 2 months in between each pack. So it's like we get the Punk one first with the Dudleys and Terry Funk and Sandman.
What's that?
Is the May.
Okay.
So we're still a little bit ways away from that. But yeah,
Yeah.
the next, and I'll get the dates exactly, and I'll tell you who's in them.
Well, we mentioned it before on the show, so we don't need to do it again. But we can do it off camera and stuff.
Not like I'll just say when they come out. So the first pack is the ECW Punk pack, which is the Dudley's Punk, Sandman, and Terry Funk that comes out May 15th.
Okay.
That's the first one. Post Malone and Friends, which is the Headbangers, Honky Tonk Man, Jimmy Hart, Post Malone, and Sensational Sherry. That comes out June 26th.
Yeah, that's a
the Pat McAfee pack, which comes out July 24th.
I know they've been making it sound like that's recent because Pat and Cole will talk about it every week, but then it's really not that recent.
So this is interesting because these people weren't mentioned before. It's Pat, Ty Schmidt, Darius Butler, Boston Connor, and AJ Hawk. Darius Butler and AJ Hawk played the NFL for a long time. AJ Hawk with the Cincinnati Bengals and a long-time Green Bay Packers linebacker. And Darius Butler played a couple years for the Patriots and played a long time for the Colts. And the other two are just like co-hosts of the show.
AJ Hawk, you can remind me because I've watched a few of his shows. Is that the person that like he just kind of like does it via he does it virtually? He does not ever actually like there when Pat does the show.
Yeah, he's always there virtually unless if Pat's away. Like during college game day, during the college football season, if Pat like is traveling somewhere, then AJ will come in and be the host for the week.
Okay.
But yeah, so he does virtually. He looks like he could kill someone, honestly, because he was a football player. So
yeah,
a linebacker, very physical player, very great player.
It'll be fun to play. You know,
I can't wait too. Like I watched Darius Butler play for the Patriots, and I was a very big fan of AJ Hawk.
It'll be interesting to see like because I mean Pat McAfee's moveset's pretty obvious, but like it'll be interesting to see like what their moveset will be because obviously they're like football players, so like they've never stepped in the ring before and all that type of stuff. It's interesting though because they mentioned like
Boston Connor's a big Boston sports fan. Obviously, you can tell by his name, Boston Connor.
Yeah, it's really interesting though because like because Roman Reigns also saw Pat McAfee's like show recently. He mentioned like they've been playing as like themselves, even though they're not out in DLC, so they must have like early access to their characters or something like that.
Yeah, I think they have. I think they got like early access to it. Because they're done already. They've been scanned in and everything. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I do kind of like that. I was very pumped when I heard that.
Yeah.
We have the Global Superstars pack coming on September 20th. This is a long one. It's Carlito, Dragon Lee, Jade Cargill, Kairi Sane, Lyra Valkyria, Michelle McCool, and Nia Jax. That's September 20th.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And then November 13th is I think it's the final one. Yeah, the final one. It's called the WCW pack. It comes out November 13th.
Oh my gosh.
It's DDP, Lex Luger, Mr. Perfect, the Great Muta, and the Iron Sheik.
Okay. I know it's the Red Flame isn't any of these DLC packs. I bet you're very sad.
He should be. He's a fucking legend. He's a fucking legend.
No, but let's anything else about the game you want to talk about? Like have you done not Showcase? What's the My Rise? Have you done that mode yet, or have you not done that yet?
I haven't done it yet because I'm going through currently right now and putting championships on people.
Okay.
So what I do is I'll go through the championship history, and if it's like the NXT title,
yeah,
from 12 to 17, I have that on Finn Balor right now. So anyone who has had that belt between 12 and 17, they get it.
Okay.
And the NXT from 17 to 21, I think I put that one on Bobby Roode recently.
Yeah.
I like to stay like in the timelines of when they won the belts were won, instead of putting a current champion or current wrestler on it.
Right.
Like I just recently put the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships on Charlotte and Becky.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I'm gonna do My Rise after I'm done with that, and then I'll probably do My Faction after that.
Yeah, the stuff I've done, I'm on showcase mode right now. Obviously, I think because I played on Legend, it takes me longer to do it because obviously I struggle. Um, I like the struggle though, but sometimes it just takes me a little longer to beat it. I'm on the ladder match. I haven't actually played it yet, but so I actually tell you this really weird. I actually didn't win the Roddy Piper Bret Hart IC title match, but I did all of the objectives. So like I still ended up unlocking everything, which was kind of funny. I mean, I still went and played it one because I don't want to not beat it either. So it's like I'm like I still
Yeah.
want to play this and win it. I will say what's annoying about like because there's a certain modes like the objectives. Sometimes the wrestlers like will not do the objectives. Like Brett, there's like objectives you have to do like these chain grapples. He legitimately did not do them. Like it took me like a few tries for him to finally get me to get him to do them and all that type of stuff.
Oh,
So it's
like my showcase last year with fucking Cena and Taker, and fucking Cena wouldn't do the fucking chain, the stupid thing, so I didn't end up beating it,
yeah.
and I refused to do it because I wasn't gonna do it 100%. I wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I've enjoyed Showcase. I'm liking Showcase. Um, the matches are pretty fun to play through. And
The
then,
women's championship triple threat match absolutely sucks.
Okay, I can't wait to play that. I'll probably start.
I was about to this. I was on like the second to last objective, and Ronda hit me with a chair, and then threw me out of the ring, and then pinned Charlotte and won.
Yeah, that's gonna.
I was like, "You fucking kidding me?" And all the computer does is go around ringside and grab random weapons.
Okay. I wonder what that's
all the fucking time.
I wonder what that's gonna be like when I played on Legend. Yeah, it's gonna be
it's gonna be a bitch for you to do that on Legend.
I'm gonna anyways though. What else though?
It was fucking difficult for me on easy mode, let alone I can't even imagine what it would be like for you on Legend.
Yeah, but I haven't done my ways yet. I played through Universe a little bit because I don't play the story mode right away. I play the game for a little bit on like easy so I can like know the controls. I didn't do it as long this time because the controls are like mainly the same. I think there's a couple differences.
A little differences, but like it's the same control basically.
But I enjoy Universe. I haven't played that for too long. I'm gonna do My Rise. I'll probably do that on easy, like if I ever get stuck on Showcase, because that's what I didn't do last year. I never really did My Way because I wanted to face Showcase first, but then I finished Showcase and then I didn't want to do it. So I'll probably bounce back and forth this time around. I'll do like My Rise, on easy if I get frustrated with Showcase. What else have I liked? I haven't done what's the super card pack. What's the name of that? Not the power cards, but like the card pack. I haven't done that. I've actually never done that before, so I might actually do that this year. My faction, yeah. I'll probably do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that after My Rise.
Yeah, and then I've been doing a lot of GM mode because, like if I ever can't, at least the game will get some usage. If I ever can't play a match, I'll just do simulations. I really like GM mode this year. The differences about it this year is the good thing about it is like when you sign someone to a contract. I don't know if you remember, you had to sign it for like a certain amount of time. This time around, you can like, if you don't have enough people to book a show, you could just sign like a jobber for a week and just have them book the show. They still have the trophy method. I don't know if you know about that because we never really did GM mode much last year. Basically the fans really don't matter if you don't have those trophies. You ain't winning because I was doing it with the computers. Xavier Woods like beat me the last week because he got like 2 trophies like the last week of the season, so I lost that season. The emails are much more fun. The GMs interact a little bit more with you and the computers. The way you sign talents differently instead of like all of them being there, you have to do like a scout method. You get like 5 scout points, and you can like look for somebody. It can be a pain in the ass though. What else is like different? Oh, the arenas. You can't just buy all the arenas like at once. Like you have to do it one at a time, type of thing. I mean, you couldn't anyways, but like you physically like can't actually buy all the arenas at once. But yeah, but it's fun. There's I've enjoyed GM mode so far. I like too that it continues. It just doesn't like it's not over after like one season. You can continue it for like ever, I think. So that's good. I like that. So I'm liking GM mode so far. I can't wait for us to play it. I'm gonna see if I can like figure out a method for us to like play it. Get like 4 people on, get my cousin on who's never watched wrestling. I definitely want to do like a playthrough of it because we didn't really get to play it much last year and stuff. I think after WrestleMania we'll start like a series of that and everything like that. Um, Obviously we're gonna play it like together. Um, you know, we'll do like a big draft because I don't recommend we do auto draft because that kind of that fucks you over a little bit. So I definitely recommend we have to do like an actual like draft. Um, so yeah, you're gonna have a fun time, buddy. Gonna play all types of power cards on you. I'll like veto your champion so you can't book them for like a week. I'm gonna make you hate me when we do GM mode. I'm gonna freaking go hardcore on you. You're in GM mode.
Oh, I'm gonna go hardcore on you, motherfucker. You're gonna get fucking power carded up. I'm gonna make sure that all your champions are inactive for the week.
It sucks. It's kind of good. Kind of sucks. You can't like you can't do it before a pay-per-view, which was like the best. Like remember like sometimes I would veto your champion so you couldn't use him for the pay-per-view and all that type of stuff. Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
He's an asshole.
But like certain brands will get certain types of championships. Be careful if like someone picks ECW because one of the codes is they can like veto 3 of your random superstars. Like you can't use them for like the paper. So you could lose them for like the pay-per-view. Oh, and I'll tell you this, by the way. If you pick ECW, do not draft any woman because there's no women's division for the woman to fight for. So you're just basically drafting all these women like for nothing, pretty much. So don't draft any woman.
Yeah,
you're totally gonna do that too. You'll make your whole you'll pick ECW and you'll just draft all women. So you can't do anything like with them. You're like, oh, we can't do it.
Yeah, just an entire women's roster
with no championships for them to fight for. Anything else we have to talk about? We talked about the game. Anything news related that we gotta like talk about? We gotta cover everything.
I think we covered everything.
Oh, Santana signed with WWE. No, yeah, it was Santana. Mike Santana signed with No, he didn't sign with WWE yet, right? He left AEW.
No, he's not. He's not signed yet.
I don't know why I thought he signed with WWE.
He's doing an interview with Chris Van Fleet today that there was 2 people from AEW that he knows are going to WWE. He knew Cody was going to WWE. He's not saying the second one. He's leaving that up for speculation.
Okay. One last thing, then we can leave. Because I know you want to talk about this. Do you want to kind of talk about a big thing like it looks like AEW won because they signed all these people, but it might affect them in the long run, like signing Okada, signing Will Ospreay, and signing Mercedes Moné. You want to kind of talk about how this could backfire on AEW like long term?
It's not. It's going to affect them big time in their wallet, in their pocket. You can't do this and expect to succeed. It's becoming very much WCW 2000-esque. And you can't run a promotion like that. Too many people have creative control, and it shows on the weekly television show every fucking week. Their fan base has kind of already turned against Mercedes.
Very much so.
In saying that her style is too much WWE. And it was very WWE like. It wasn't, and I agree with them. Shocking, and I will say this: there is absolutely, positively, no difference between Sasha Banks and Mercedes Moné. None.
Yeah.
They are the same gimmick, just a different name.
Now let's kind of get to the WWE tie-in. You're probably wondering why are we talking about some AEW on a WWE podcast? Why don't you talk about, because this could benefit, this AEW's downfall side on the sound could be a benefit to like WWE, where the WWE tie-in could be and all that type of stuff.
It's gonna push some people out the door.
Yeah.
I would expect by the end of the year, not expect, but I would think that by the end of the year, that we will be seeing Ricky Starks, we will be seeing Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, the Hardy Boys, and whoever else in WWE within the rest of this calendar year, heading into the Royal Rumble, and even into future years or whatever. But I personally think that those people will be on their way to WWE within the rest of this calendar year.
Yeah, definitely.
And the one that makes the most, well, three that make the most sense from looking at it, it's Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews because of their significant others. Buddy's fiance is Rhea Ripley, and Malachi Black is married to Zelina Vega. And the third one, Ricky Starks, because of his close friendship with Cody Rhodes. And also, too, I will say this, a fourth one, Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be sooner than we think for Dustin.
Yeah, because you've been posting stuff.
After seeing this shit that he's posting on Twitter about The Rock, it could be WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yes, it could be. But yeah, it's I would expect Dustin probably sooner rather than later, because he only signed a 1-year extension like last year. But yeah, that's it's the same thing. It's the same problem. Tony matched the money on Jade, and Jade went, "Haha, I'm going to WWE." It's literally, he matched the money, he matched the years, he matched everything, and she just went, "Nah, I'm good. I'm going to WWE instead."
Yeah.
There is no them signing Okada, them signing Ospreay, them signing Mercedes, is great on paper, and only on paper. You look at that roster, you go, "Oh damn, Okada, Ospreay, Mercedes, Deonna Purrazzo. Wow, okay, they spent big." On paper, looks great. In reality, can't run a company like that. And guess what? Every single one of those people have creative control. You can't run a company like that and give everyone creative control just so you can sign them.
Right.
Because the wrong people will get it. Mercedes. And will abuse it. I think and I've said this ever since I saw the fucking details of why she went there. The second thing, it was the money, number one, because she's a money grubber. All she cares about is money. That's why it's her fucking ring name. And the second was creative control. Her having creative control is fucking stupid. Out of all of them. I don't care if you give it to Okada. I don't care if you give it to Deonna Purrazzo. I don't care if you give it to Ospreay. It's not gonna... They're not egomaniacs.
Right.
And they'll use it for good. Where Mercedes is a fucking egomaniac. And it's only going to affect the product in the worst way possible. And the funny thing too was, in her going back to WWE or going to AEW, was the fact that she could do outside project. I'm like, really? Outside projects in creative control. Last time I checked, how many movies did WWE and Vince McMahon let their superstars do over the years? A lot. I would love to know this. Where was Mercedes when The Mandalorian came out?
WWE.
Oh, wait, that's right. She was in fucking WWE. That's right. Who let her do that? Vince McMahon. So, I don't want to hear shit about how they don't let their superstars not do outside commitments, movies, and whatnot, because they always have. And it was all creative control and it was money. There's a reason why her name is Mercedes Moné and not Sasha Banks, or because WWE owns that. There's a reason why she's the CEO and not the boss, because WWE owns that. And there's a reason why she can't use Sky's the Limit, because that's owned by WWE.
Wasn't it owned by
so
CFO?
She has to use. Well, that's a WWE owned track.
That's true.
Essentially. Well, CFO is not really a band anymore. So
yeah, that's true.
They broke years ago. So she has to use a second-tier name, a second-tier nickname, and a 60-tier theme song. Her theme song sucks. Her nickname sucks. It doesn't go well. And it's so funny because she had that big reaction in Boston, and the next week, what was the loudest thing about the entrance? It was the theme song chanting CEO. It wasn't the crowd chanting CEO. It was the theme song saying. I was listening to it, I'm like, the fucking CEO chant in the theme song is louder than the people in attendance in Toronto. She's not a draw. She never will be a draw. She's not over. That's the problem. Is she thinks she's bigger than she actually is. She wanted more money than Charlotte, Becky, and Bayley. Last time I checked, in the 4 Horsewomen, she was the 4th of 4. Charlotte's worth all that money. Bayley's worth all that money. Becky's worth all that money. Because they're marketable. They're draws. You put their name on a fucking billboard and people will show up. You put Sasha's name on a billboard, you might draw half the house. It's just all these signings, I'll say this, all these signings are going to push more people in that company to go to WWE. Whether it's NXT, whether it's main roster, they're going to lose a lot of people. And they're going to realize, hey, a little bit better on the other side.
Yeah, I'll just say like this. Obviously, it's great, that AEW can, sign these people. It's good, that there's, another path, obviously, other than WWE, which is good, but it's yeah, I just feel like, I wasn't mad Will Ospreay went because, maybe he still wants to wrestle, his style, maybe, he wouldn't have to be on the road as much and everything like that, and then, obviously Okada was kind of like whatever. Mercedes Moné, whatever. I also even WWE's doing really well, but I just think, hearing in the forefront how it's going to affect that company because they spent so big on these contracts. And then, hearing all the people that they're already disingenuous anyways, that are going to get pushed down the code. I feel like that's just going to be to the WWE's benefit because WWE can pick up some of these names again and really, get them going. Obviously, the only ones I think that that won't really change all that much out of the people you mentioned is probably the Hardys, just because that's not as young and everything like that. They're kind of at the later stage of this career. They'll probably, they'll probably have one last run.
Proper.
Huh?
Give him a proper send off, and then induct him into the fucking Hall of Fame like they deserve.
Yeah, I think that's going to be like the only thing that really like happens with them. I think they'll like work maybe not Jeff, but I think Matt could probably like work behind the scenes creatively and all that type of stuff. Um, Jeff can do some stuff behind the scenes, like help train. I just Jeff's even said himself, like when it comes to creative control, like creativity and everything like that, he's not as good at it as Matt. That's why I think Matt could be like useful and everything like that. Um, and then I think that's just gonna bite them in the ass in the long run. And I don't think they're done doing all these signings too. I think they're gonna try to sign every free agent that they can. I don't think this is. I don't think Mercedes Moné is even like the end of it. I think they're just gonna like spend big. I think the reason too you can't get excited for any of these signings is they don't do anything with any of these signings really. Like I mean I kept talking about it. Edge has been in AEW now 6 months and he's basically done nothing. He's been in a feud with Christian Cage since the beginning. If anything, I think his stock's gone down since he joined AEW from where it was when he had his last appearance on SmackDown, when he had like the 25 years celebrated to him. I'll admit to you, honest, still early days, still challenging for the belt. And I think a lot of people forget about Mercedes Moné. She's not even feuding for the main championship. She's feuding for like the mid card championship. She's not even in the main storylines really. Like imagine signing. Imagine when CM Punk signed, he just feuded. He competed for the TNT Championship. Well, imagine when Cody Rhodes went back to WWE, he competed, for the United States title. And I know a lot of people are gonna say he challenged for it, but he wasn't relegated to it. He just challenged for it one time. He was in the main event. He's been like the face of the company pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Will Ospreay still early days. I think he's probably gonna have some like banners. Okada. Obviously, not looking great, but it's still kind of early days because, he's with the Young Bucks. They're pretty big factors in the company, but he just kind of feels like a third wheel. Like, it's also true that just signing too many people at once, they don't let, like, enough people breathe. I know, like, a lot of people said, when Triple H originally took over, he, like, signed all these people back and everything like that, in a month, but you also kind of have to look at it. WWE's roster really wasn't all that bloated at the time because they had all these massive releases that happened like right before Triple H took over, so he kind of had to sign a lot of people at that time. AEW doesn't really need to sign any of these people. Like they have a bloated roster as they had a bloated roster as it was before they signed all these people. And it's just so odd. That that this is happening. So it's just like, yeah, I feel like AEW, I feel like WWE could benefit, from AEW spending too much. There's a reason I think WWE, and it's just really weird because then you hear like Dave Meltzer like talk about, when it comes to, it's been especially with the Will Ospreay one, they talk about like how WWE underestimated like a lot, how they missed the ball with like Will Ospreay and all that stuff. It's just so weird. That there's still people that like think WWE's missing the ball not signing these people. Would it have been nice if WWE could have gotten like one of those people? Obviously, yeah, it would have been nice, but like, I honestly don't think they're missing the boat. But it's like, when it comes down to it, it's not like WWE didn't try. Dave Meltzer makes it sound like WWE didn't even attempt to pursue these people. They just let them sign an AEW, and that wasn't the case. They just let the They just chose AEW at the end of the day. It's not like AEW didn't like attempt. I mean, they didn't even really get to attempt with a lost play. They got kind of like that. AEW kind of like lowballed them on that one. So it's like, but yeah, it's just really weird. And I think we could see how WWE benefits. I mean, maybe they won't benefit. Maybe they'll end up re-signing with AEW, and WWE would just kind of keep plugging along. Again, if these people come back to WWE, that'd be great. It's not like I don't think it's gonna hurt WWE if they don't go back either. I think they're just gonna keep doing their thing. And,
yeah.
I don't really think. I think WWE wants to have new signings, obviously, but I don't think they'll like they're probably looking for new talent, but I don't think that I think they're gonna keep like keep doing their business and everything like that. There's no real need for them to. I feel like that's the thing too. It doesn't really feel like AEW is like focusing on like the like business model either. They're kind of looking to like sign the newest sweetheart agent like as quickly as they can sometimes and all that type of stuff. Um, you know, which I because if you remember in the beginning it wasn't that way. I mean, mainly because it couldn't be that way because there was a pandemic. WWE had all that talent, but like in the beginning they focus on the business model. Now it feels like AEW is just trying to find every free agent talent that they can. But that's all I have to say. Anything else you want to say about this before we end the show?
No, I think we pretty much covered it.
Um, yeah, and that's the end of the show. We went 3 hours, but we also haven't done a show in a while, so I thought it was warranted. And I'm editing the show anyways, so obviously we're gonna try to make these like shorter once we kind of come back to doing this a week.
Yeah.
It won't always be 3 hours. It's just we haven't done a show in a while. So, but is there anything you want to plug or promote? Because we're not gonna be coming back until next Friday. So, is there anything you want to like plug or promote or just do like a nice little shout out to before we end this off?
I mean, for people who are bland and have no personality, I mean, we pretty much just went 3 hours. So, I mean, it is what it is. Showing no personality must really suck. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting time of the year, WrestleMania season. Just stay tuned, pay attention, watch all the shows. Just don't watch the highlights because that's fucking lazy. Watch the shows. Yeah, it's we have a lot of interesting storylines coming up. A lot of interesting content from us coming up. So just stay tuned and yeah.
Yeah, as for less than 44 no on the Talking Data. Obviously, next week, I'll probably try to release it the sooner I can. But we're gonna do a tier list. We were gonna try to do like two of them, one for WrestleMania openers, but one for WrestleMania main eventers. But we just can't fit it in, and I didn't want to do one without the other, because I have people coming for Easter, and Easter's earlier than I thought it was. So it just isn't gonna work out. But so
literally this weekend.
yeah. So the thing I decided was we would do a tier list since WWE did showcase mode. We would try to like include all of the games that had like some type of WrestleMania story mode and tier list all the matches that WWE has included in the WrestleMania story mode. So we're including Legends of WrestleMania, WWE 2K14, and WWE 2K24. We will say some of the matches aren't in the game, but we wanted to make sure I wanted to make sure I included one from every WrestleMania, and I tried to do like matches I think would have been in the game had WWE games been able to produce them. So some Brock Lesnar matches I think that had to get taken out because of what happened with him. I put like then like okay that probably be in there and stuff. I just wanted to make sure like one of every WrestleMania got included and stuff like that. And I did conclude like even though WrestleMania 39 is its own thing, I included if they had 2 night thins, I included them as their own show because I feel like that's only fair. So we'll be doing that. We'll be doing some aftershocks. Saturday will just be straight predictions, nothing too fancy of us predicting Stand and Deliver in WrestleMania 40. And then probably the Monday afterwards, we're going to do WWE Aftershock reviewing Stand and Deliver, the Hall of Fame, in WrestleMania. And then you'll get another Aftershock reviewing everything afterwards. And then at some point, we might make it an Aftershock extra, so that way we can cover the Bray Wyatt documentary and things like that.
The next month.
Yeah, you'll definitely get that at some point. And then after WrestleMania, we're going to see if we can do some type of battle of the brand supremacy with WWE 2K24, but we do GM mode. It will be Chris, myself, my cousin, and some other fourth person, so that way everybody can be in it. We might make the fourth person just a computer if we can. But yeah, we're going to definitely do something like that. It'll be fun. We'll try to probably do that every other week. We won't do that every week, so that way we don't get burnt out from it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. And since it's being recorded in the past, we will talk to you guys in the future.